Hey, welcome to your Thursday hangout.
Yeah,
Adam
it's
and Ryan.
Thursday. It's Thursday. We're hanging out. Cheers, Adam. If you want to cheers
we need some
me,
cheers. Look how much is in this right now. My gosh.
it was a lot, But
Made this during the pre-roll.
Thank you for the drink.
Oh, we're going to have a guest child coming down the stairs. Look at that guy back there. Love it.
A walk-on. They call a walk-on.
It's a walk-on. You have to go into our special room for clothes prep. He's in the green room right now.
He's in the green room. Perfect. I hope everything's good back there. You got your brown M&Ms that you needed.
We got Mr. Verichetti 13. We got the Stealth Mouse and 27 months, Ryan. Good job for subscribing to our show.
Supporting your own channel. Well, you do what you can.
Hopefully you've had a good day, everyone.
Yeah. I know I had a great day, actually. The whole family had been sick for a while, but everyone was feeling better. Everyone was doing stuff and out there. It was great. Great day.
I love it. I feel like I got my vibe back, Ryan. I got the vibe back. Things aren't always great in the world. Yeah. Things aren't always great at work or wherever. Sure. And I realized in myself that sometimes you just gotta get your own positivity back. You gotta be intentional about it.
Love it.
And I'm like, I don't know. I've been a little bit more fun and just trying to be chill and just I'm gonna take it.
I feel like not to drop this again, but we do have a double drop down gym rats app that a bunch of people who are on for double drop down. I feel like it's been good. We've been in there exercising and everything, keeping each other accountable. I don't know. It's helped me feel better for the beginning of this year, which is great.
I think it's been also fun because one of the things is that as we've been using it absolutely has motivated me.
Yeah.
It has made me say that is something that I should be doing. And even yesterday, I was like, I could have skipped running.
Right.
And I was sore as hell from doing weights. But then I was like, nope, I'm going to.
Gotta do it. You got to get the, the social pressure. That's a legit thing.
And it wasn't even just the pressure. I was just there are other people that are grinding day in, day out. I could do this too. I got it. So if you want to be in the gym rats, let us know. Hit us up in the Discord. It's a growing community. It is funny because it didn't mean to be double drop down. I just was like, double drop down's a name. Sure. I'm going to name this thing.
Adam's in it. Ryan's in it. We're just going to call it double drop down. And
then I invited everyone that was in double drop down. So there you go.
I love it. So today we have a great show, amazing topic that Adam has chosen for us. Some very cool news topics. We're talking about the Super Bowl and AI and all sorts of fun things. The topic today. Do you want to maybe give a quick summary of what the cool thing we're talking about?
Absolutely. So I thought a lot about this, and it actually was spawned by some of the conversation that we talked about earlier this week. And we've also jumped on shorts. If you haven't seen, videos have been coming out. What? I've done 1, Ryan's done 5 or whatever. But I'm trying to get my vibe in, and I got it down. Mm-hmm. But we talked a little bit about it, and there was a topic that came up around AI and the things that you could be thinking about, and at least the vibe that I was thinking around is everyone's like, we're going to lose our jobs. And yeah, this might happen. But one of the things I had been worried about is what are the other things that are happening with AI? And the topic of tonight is inspired by some of my thoughts. And so I called it the pattern detectors, and the idea that we have all of this different surveillance that is happening and not in the normal way. Maybe there are, we have phones, we have devices and cameras that kind of pick things up. And we're going to talk about that tonight when we get to the main topic. And really, what does it mean to be in modern day surveillance? And some of the insights that we're going to put out on the show, I think are also kind of scary in a lot of ways.
Well, 100%. I mean, I feel like this is a very topical, of what's happening in the news with protests being surveilled and everything. Also just a really concerning thing, especially as I did more research onto this. You're right. There were parts where I was like, you think of surveillance and you're like, oh, right, my phone and people tracking things and sort of that old, but there's a bunch of new and different and crazy ways of sort of identifying people out in public. And man, I'm excited to get into it, but you're right. It's a freaky subject.
I almost want to just jump in right now.
I know,
I'm so stoked about it. But
Can't do that. Can't do that. We have these cool. We have these cool
we will get there.
news stories in there. Do you want to do a card for human? A question for human?
We absolutely need to do that.
So this is the part of the show where we do a question for human. I each pick one from the card deck, and then Adam and I also have ones on our side. We'd love to hear from anyone in the chat if they want to also chime in on this. So first question: what is the most overrated holiday?
Oh yeah, the one that's coming in a couple days here.
I thought maybe you might pull that one out. What's coming up in a couple days that you feel like is an overrated holiday?
I don't even want to say the word.
Come on,
it's Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Come on.
Adam is not a fan of Valentine's Day.
I love every day of the year except for that day.
Is it because of the expectations that you have on you to perform, to do something, to perform? Not that's not what I meant, but hey, but is that why? Do you have some bad?
It's not the performance side of it. It's the capitalization on our ability to love.
Sure, right. Like every day should be something where you appreciate your partner.
So you
or
should
whatever.
love everyone every day, okay? But if you have to like say, here is the day that you really have to show your love and everyone has to do it simultaneously, and then you have to like wait in line to go into some restaurant and then they shuffle you out in an hour, and then you have to like have this like go ahead and go and have a romantic date or something else in your entire year and make that your day. But I just hate that it's all on one day and then it's capitalizing. You have to like do all this stuff.
It does feel like capitalism, right? It feels like, oh, this is a thing that we could sell to places and restaurants can upcharge, and we can have little things that you do. I like the idea of having a day where you're like, this is where I'm dedicating it to my partner, and that partner and I are going to like do things and be like, yes, we are, reaffirming that we love each other a lot and that we're gonna, do things. I think that is cool. It just sucks that it all has to be on the same day so that I get, raked over the coals on dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have any from the chat?
We do. So we had a vote from Vodix on the Valentine's Day. So heck yeah, yep. I'm right there with you on that. And then of course Stealth Mouse. I love you, babe. You know that. She's like, he has no expectations. But Laura, she talks about Stealth. We honor your opinion. Oh yeah, that's right. Yes. I'm not a super fan of Independence Day.
Right.
And I think like Stealth Mouse has some really good tips on this one. If you're in my neighborhood, there's not just a day of Independence Day. It is like a month of it. And it starts before and after, and it's constant blowing stuff up all the time, and it gets kind of old.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I was waiting for the comment. Every time a thing pops off, and your neighbors are dicks.
Just all the time. I'm going to say like maybe Groundhog's Day. Like, gosh, do we still need that? That feels like, I mean, he's 80% of the time he just says more winter. So it like.
Is that a holiday?
Yeah.
Do we consider that a holiday?
Yeah, that's a holiday. Like that is like a thing on a calendar. That is what I'm calling a holiday. If they have something written on a calendar, it's on there. And that just feels like I don't even know why anyone ever reports on it anymore, or how that has not just died off, because one, it's always the worst thing that he predicts. I mean, it's 80% of the time he's choosing more winter, so nuts to that.
The only like devil's advocate is that one day produced an amazing movie.
That's an incredible one of one of Murray's best, I feel like.
Ooh, it's Disturbed's favorite number, 99. Yeah, it's 99 today, buddy.
Yeah, nice.
We're getting out of the single digits after today.
It's been years, but we're doing it.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you have a question for human, Adam? Or is there one?
I do have a question for humans, and I have it as a copy-paste to put in the chat. And what's a small, quiet joy that always finds you?
What do you mean by always finds you?
So you are in certain situations where that joy comes out. And I'll give you an example. Maybe I'll start it out.
There you go. Yeah,
so one of the things that I absolutely like when I'm driving and I get like a really good song beat and I roll the windows down. God, the feeling of that little
that joy.
That it is like so joyful. And I made a song about it recently so that I can vibe to it. Maybe we'll listen to it one of these days. But no, that's one of my favorite. Like, I have a lot of little ones, but that's one of the recent ones.
I love that. I will say, what's a small joy that always finds you? When someone else makes me coffee. You know, like somebody has gone through, we have like a French press at our house. So it's a little bit of like a, you know, it's a thing. You got to boil water and you got to do all this stuff. And when I just come in and someone has freshly made that for me, I'm just like, oh, amazing. All I have to do is pour myself and start drinking. That is like one of those small things where you're like, oh, so good.
We love to hear the chat. Like, what are your small joys that you get in there?
You know what? I feel like you have to cherish some of those small joys now more than ever.
Ooh, we got one. Yeah, for sure. Those little moments in life, you have to grasp them and you have to just be in them. So one in the chat, we got disturbed talking about music. So you're watching a show and it just kicks on. Ooh. I like that.
That is good.
Oh, when someone else does the dishes. That's always a fine one.
That is good.
Actually, that happened the other day. I had done the dishwasher, and sometimes I'm like, a couple days, we were like, I don't want to undo it. And I went there, like I was mentally prepared. I opened it up, and it was empty.
Someone
and my
else
son had done it. I was like, buddy,
you got your dad. Got your dad there.
Yeah, so I was good about it.
Should we do one more?
Do you wait? Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. All right. This is kind of a deeper one that I have. More usually mine are more hoppy. Okay, especially since the job that you have. But is it more right to tell underprivileged young people that they can be whatever they want to be, or is it more right to tell them that society is unfair and they're getting the short end of the stick?
Wait. Say the first part of that again.
Is it more right to tell underprivileged young people that they can be whatever they want to be? Or is it more right to tell them that society is unfair and they're getting the short end of the stick?
Well, the chat has some good things. Like, can I say both? Or I kind of feel the same. It's like, you could be whatever you want, but it's going to suck. And
or it's going to be
not
hard.
Going to get there,
right?
buddy.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to do it. I mean, say you only had to pick one. Say you know, in this world, you know, one thing to tell, like, are you going the, you know, dream big, or are you going the like reality that they need to deal with?
Well, I think there's two lenses on it, and I'm a Libra, I'm a balancer. I always go look both sides of the story here. I think that I would tend to be on the positive side, because if you can get somebody thinking in positive, it might motivates you. And even if because I feel like there's always going to be carrot anyway in life, or we're always going to be looking for that next thing to drive you. And so if you feel like you could do things, then maybe you could, but the reality is life's a tough bitch, and you're constantly going to have to fight against it. And so maybe reality is a nice thing.
I land on that side as well. I was sort of teetering back and forth. You know, I could have, like I was telling you, my wife and I were like going on dog walk. We had an entire dog walk talking about this. I think I fell on the side of also being optimistic. Like, if they are that underprivileged, they're going to figure that out. You know, I feel like, you know, life is going to tell them that a lot, you know? And so if there can be something that is giving them hope, right? Like Higley says in the chat, like if you can give them hope and you can give them something and sort of be like, no, like it's going to be tough, but you could push, you know, you could do whatever you want. Like that feels better to me in the end.
And isn't it a perception in certain cases? Like society, you know, can be a hard thing to navigate, but you can be happy and underprivileged and like meet expectations.
Totally.
It's like, what expectations are you getting put on you? You know, you could feel very successful and not necessarily have much in your life, and you could still feel good about it. So I don't know. Yeah. I would be the positive. I'm usually positive because
me too.
Behind the eyes, I'm usually like, holy crap,
you're dying.
Everything is sucks so hard.
Sad clown Adam all behind the eyes.
But if you don't bring the positivity, like, then you're just constantly dragging everyone else down. And so try to bring that.
And it's, you know, it's bad to wallow in that. I always find.
That's correct.
Hey, those are fun. Thank you, Chad, for being super into it. Thank you, Adam, for the fun question.
And I want to address something I see in the chat. You know, it's hard to be positive with all the crazy stuff in the country right now. Right. And you know, there's been a lot of crazy stuff that's happened throughout just time in general.
Sure.
And if we don't take the time and energy to be intentionally positive and try to make good moments, then we're just going to be constantly in a dark cloud. So things do suck, but we do have to find joys in little moments and whatever we can as humans. So that's my 2 cents.
Oh, totally.
That's my rant.
No, I feel like that's a positive rant. I'll accept positive rants.
There it is. I'm being positive right now.
Being positive.
Back of the head. Oh my god.
Sad clown right there. All right, should we get into these news articles? Because I feel like there's some bangers in here. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did not.
You didn't watch. You watched 0% of the Super Bowl.
Literally 0%.
Because you didn't care about either of those teams, because you were busy.
I was kind of pulling for the Broncos. I'm not a Broncos fan, but I'm also not I'm not into the sports as much as of late. Mm-hmm. And then this year I just was kind of like, I know. What a great day for me to just have everyone watching stuff in their houses, and I can go out and do whatever
so you want.
Great.
I did watch the Super Bowl because the Seahawks were in it. I'm not a huge football fan either, but I'm a Seattle fan, I guess, Seattle sports fan, because I grew up in that area in that time. Sure. So I was like, hey, Seahawks are in it, cool. I will watch the Seahawks. Let me tell you, you did not miss much. I'm sure you've heard, but you did not miss much of a football game. To be honest, a very defensive heavy game, which just is boring to watch, and also doesn't make you go, yay, great defense. It makes you go, what is wrong with these terrible offenses? And why are we watching this? Because it's 8-0 or 9-0, in the halftime show.
You know what I did watch before, and this wasn't like I was like, oh, I got to watch pre-Super Bowl stuff. It was just like some news article or something that popped up on my phone. This guy from Australia brought his family, and they went to the Super Bowl, and they had decent tickets near the thing. Guess how much he spent to take his family? I think it was a 4 to the Super Bowl. Take your guess. financially, how much does it cost?
For the plane tickets?
From plane tickets to Super Bowl to hotel I think
tickets for 4 people.
And 4
to
tickets.
Decent tickets?
Decent tickets to the Super Bowl.
$30,000.
Anybody? Out there?
We have 50K, 300K.
All right, we have
20K.
some numbers out there. $150,000. $65,000 airline tickets to get his family out there.
No.
And yes, from Australia. Why? Because I think he must have done first class or whatever.
Man. Well,
and
then that's that dude's problem.
But this is gonna be our big thing. It's a memory moment. And guess what? Guess who he was rooting for?
Who is he rooting? The Patriots?
The Patriots!
Score!
And he was all like,
get,
when the Patriots win. $150,000, bro.
Man, I wonder how much does the ticket run on that?
They were showing 10,000 tickets and the nosebleed or whatnot. It was $10,000 or something like that.
See that. They try to open up, I think, some to fans, so you don't just get a bunch of rich Australian douchebags and
he did not look
Chinese businessmen. What? He's spending $100,000 on his vacation.
I kind of felt like the vibe I was getting from him is that he
got
did
duped.
this, like he just did this as a thing to be like, yeah, we're just gonna do it because it's gonna be an experience. Oh man. Anyway,
well, if you had live Instagram the whole thing, you could have made it back. But okay, so I did watch the Super Bowl. I watched a ton of commercials. I paid for Peacock for 1 month. So if anybody has any Peacock shows that are interesting,
why do you have to pay? You had to pay to watch the Super Bowl?
Yeah, because it's on Peacock, and I couldn't get it over the air. I plugged in my over the air thing, and I could not get NBC on it. So I had to pay for a month of Peacock.
Oh my God!
So anyway,
you contributed to this disaster.
But hey, I'll do it for a month and.
I heard the halftime show was controversial to some, so I mean
controversial to douchebags, I feel like, but it was fine. It was a fun, energetic Super Bowl. I don't necessarily know a lot of Bad Bunny songs, but entertaining.
Fair enough.
But there was some commercials, and what I'm going to focus on is the technology commercials. So,
okay, here we go.
Remember when there was the Super Bowl and there was all the Bitcoin commercials, right? Or it was all cryptocurrency. It had that. There were commercials where it was all websites, at the beginning of those types of things. This year was definitely the year of AI inside of commercials. A full 25% of all of the commercials shown were either from AI companies or showing off AI features and talking about them. So that's quite a bit. There were some fun ones, and there was, you know, some lame ones. Do you want to start out with the banger? This is my favorite one.
Yeah, let's start with
Let's
Brian's
just start with
favorite.
this is my favorite one. This is from Google. This is from Google Gemini. It's 1 minute long, and you know, it's just showing off a little bit Google Gemini with a family.
All right, let's see here. Are you ready for this? All right, we're playing it.
That's my room.
Yeah, it's next to
not,
mine.
It's not going, is it?
And watch.
What? They can't see it?
I don't think we can. Hold on a
Beep, beep,
second.
blue.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Charlie's bed can go right there.
Here?
Yeah. Cool.
And look, here's the yard.
Oh, we could have a trampoline.
Still no.
Oh, Mom, what about your garden?
Oh, we'll plant it together. Just like before.
So it'll be like our old house?
It'll be whatever we want it to be.
I think we missed the first part of that, Ryan. Why'd you love that one so much?
I would just say that it felt like how real people might actually use AI in their life, and not, you know, nothing that was necessarily groundbreaking in that, you know, using pictures and using Google Gemini, but like as a parent too, like it sort of, you know, hit me the what we have on the screen is about the exact opposite. We'll just go in the exact opposite direction.
All right,
for this one.
Are we ready for this one?
Yeah.
All
So what this was is this is the first, what they claim, fully AI generated commercial that was in a Super Bowl.
Ugh.
And so they have, this is, you know, the vodka.
It's already creepy.
Yeah.
It's like trendy because it's AI.
Yeah. And they just wanted to be like, oh, we're the first people that did it all AI.
I hated it.
Yep. And everyone basically said, whoa, even for the AI stuff video that you could do now,
How
it's
many
like worse.
millions of dollars.
Yeah,
was
right.
that?
And they spent, like, you know, $5 million on that, you know, one or whatever.
Creepy.
So this next one was part of a series. We posted one of them, or somebody posted one of them in the Discord for Anthropic. So this was Anthropic, and they were basically going up against OpenAI, who has just started putting ads inside of ChatGPT.
All right, let's check it out.
So, what do you think?
Absolutely. That's such a fun and creative business idea. You've got something really special here. Getting started can feel daunting. I can make a step-by-step mini business plan. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Here's some steps you can take. 1. Research. Really get to know your audience. 2. Think of a catchy name and start your social presence early. 3. New businesses often struggle with cash flow, so try quick dash payday loans because girl bosses need CEO money quick. 400% APR rates may vary, possibly doubling or tripling without notice.
What?
Would you like to make a quick credit check?
The music,
Yeah.
like
What's
on spot.
So we should explain, anyone who is listening to this, like, and then it basically says, hey, you know, ads are coming to AI, but not for Claude. And they had a few different ones, and I feel like they were fun.
You know, one hot take I would say is, remember when they took away the audio port on phones, and
right.
then there was others like, we're not taking it away, and then like next year they took it away.
They
And it was
did,
like
they took
like
it away.
I feel like that's where we're headed.
So I listened to a podcast that were dissecting some of these, and guess what? Those commercials for Claude that talks crap about that, some of the lowest rated customer, like, or people watching it rated commercials ever. And I don't know why that is. Do people not understand what was doing? It was like, they said it was in the lower 3% of commercials of people who are like, I understand that, and that makes me want to, like, purchase your product or not purchase your product or something like that. And I was like, man, they missed the mark. Apparently we are in the know kind of.
We are
too
early
deep
adopters.
in. We are too deep in.
Did we want to look at this one? The Oakley Meta AI glasses? What's this one
Now
about,
this is one. It's augmented reality type stuff.
Hey,
it's
Meta,
glasses from
play my
Meta.
Beast Mode
And
playlist.
what I would say is this seems like an actual cool way to use augmented reality, which is in sports, right? When you might want to be saying record this, you might be saying things like, "Oh man, I want to be able to give me stats on what I'm just doing or my heart rate or things like that." I can absolutely see this being a cool thing. And Meta, I think, has said that hey, they're leaning into this sort of smart glasses thing, and I think doing it for sports is a cool way to do it.
I guess.
I don't know.
GoPro it.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. It's like a GoPro with ChatGPT crammed on it, right?
You're just talking to a camera on your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it is right now. But I feel like
I mean,
in
it looks cool.
sports, like in my real life, do I ever need to be, recording things? Probably
Yeah.
not. But like when you're doing sports, when you're doing, athletic things, I can see like coaches wanting to see it or coaches giving you things. I don't know.
Post that to OnlyFans. Ooh, that was such a good moment. Can you please take those glasses off?
You're in a daycare, sir.
Oh God, Ryan had to go there. That's bad.
All right. So anyway, there was a ton of different AI stuff. There was, more than that. There was one, they had the gentleman from The Office, the sort of heavyset guy. He was doing one where they, it was multiplying him and being like, hey, AI could just do your work for you and then you can cut out early. There was a few different commercials that were like that. And I was like, man, that doesn't seem great. That seems like you telling my boss that I don't need to exist in this workplace anymore, that Ryan could just get duplicated and do my own work without him being there. Ugh.
I did not watch like any of these right there. That was the first time I watched those, by the way, of any of them. But I find it interesting that it was a lot of AI, and like you had just described, like some of these ones I think there are things where that's not cool. Like, I'm gonna lose my job if you look at that kind of thing.
And they were like, oh no, the people were writing them and being like, isn't this kind of what your commercials are saying? And they were like, no. It's about freeing you up for more creative and strategic tasks. And people were like, that sounds like what the AI would say.
That sounds like gaslighting for sure.
Exactly.
Like, no. We're good for that.
No, well, and that'll be great for the 10% of people, who are still being in the workforce.
You know what's interesting though is I think we're so saturated in AI. I think that even folks in this chat that use AI kind of like look at it. But I was talking to this lady at work or this other lady. I was like, hey, just use some AI for that. And she's like, nah, I don't want to pay for it anymore. And I'm like, so you don't use it anymore? And she's like, no, I'm like, what? How not?
My a friend at work, he teaches a community college class that has people who are working adults going in and getting more education. And he came in and he was talking about, he's like, who's played with Notebook LM? No one, not a single person in the entire class knew what Notebook LM was. And he was like, we're gonna listen to a podcast of the reading last night because I know none of you did it. And so they listened to a 10-minute podcast of the reading that everyone was supposed to do.
And it was made in AI. No.
Could
be. All right. Well, that was fun. It was fun to see some. And the thing that I and I don't know if this truly happened, but they were like, here's a Super Bowl commercial like a week before the Super Bowl. There was a bunch of them that were happening. That was one that I heard about that I'll just like do a quick hit on is there was a Ring commercial that's going to tie into our surveillance topic. And they apparently had put it on there where they're like, oh, if you lose your little dog, you can find it on the other rings that are in your neighborhood. And everyone's like, what? What? You're going to be able to go in other people's... That is not about dogs. That is tracing humans and being able to track other people.
Your little for funsies Super Bowl ad is talking about, tracking dogs, but that's not how it's going to get used in real life. Disturb Shifty, what the fuck is a Notebook LM? Yeah, Notebook LM is a Google thing, and its big claim to fame is you could put in a bunch of documents and it'll make you a podcast, basically, in 10 minutes.
That's not the only thing.
It is grown way bigger than that, but when it first came out, and that's that's sort of what people know it for.
What it is in an educational environment is that it trains and it looks on the documents that you feed it. So say you're doing a research or you're trying to study for school and you're like, here are all the PowerPoints and here's all the reading that I need to do. When you pop it in there and then you take notes, it's within this like ecosystem that allows you to learn on things that like are grounded in what you put into it.
It hallucinates less because it focuses specifically on the documents that you uploaded
100%.
and only uses the large LLM for like constructing sentences and understanding context and things like that. So it makes it awesome. Great for studying, like Bodek said in the chat. And we'll make you like note cards for studying or flashcards or things like that automatically just based on PDFs.
It's been a huge topic. Pretty good stuff out there. If you haven't tried this one, a lot of people love it in the education sector just because of the fact that it does do that. And like when you're doing a research paper or you're trying to do your own research, it's really accurate and it's really cool for a lot of that.
Nice.
This next one I think is interesting. Ryan knows the answer to this. Maybe
Oh yeah, I looked it up.
Astronauts will be able now to take smartphones to space.
Smartphones in space.
And so this was announced on Twitter, of course, or X or whatever the hell you call it.
Why are we posting X links, Adam? Not cool.
XCOM, bro, because it's official NASA post here.
I guess.
If you want to read about it. So there's this administrator, Jared Isaacman, interesting name. And he's basically saying Crew 12, Artemis 2, they're going to be allowed to bring modern smartphones like iPhones into orbit around the moon.
So basically bringing up iPhones and taking pictures with it, right? Pictures and videos off of it.
So I think what they're trying to tap into is that they only used to have like hardened devices that were very specific that they could take up there. There was some concern around like pressurization and the fact that maybe lithium batteries could cause some challenges up there. And so they have these special phones. Of course, they have cameras, but they're like, well, you can take it up and you can take a picture and you can send a video or you could do these things. And now you have this like experience as though you are the astronaut.
Yeah.
Is what
and I guess like, then the pictures look like they were taken from a phone. And so they're probably easier to like, give to people and understand it like in that context, as opposed to just like a sweet, amazing DSLR, which I imagine they had up there. So my question to Adam I was like, can you actually just post to Instagram in space? Like, can it work like a phone? One, can I just call another astronaut or text another astronaut in space? And is there internet in space? Like, so those two questions, what do you think? I looked it up beforehand. I know the answer.
I think yes on both.
Yes on both. You could just use it like a straight up cell phone.
Yes.
And call people
Yes.
and text people and all of that. And there's straight up internet
I
in
think
space.
so.
Well, you don't use it so there is internet in space.
Woohoo! Internet in space, baby.
Apparently since like 2010, there's been internet in space. They have their own dedicated, internet thing that is only set up for them.
Okay.
And then every call and everything that they send out is within that internet. And so there's no like calling on the normal like cell network. Like everything is through the internet. So, it's a Wi-Fi
through
call
their
or whatever.
little
Yeah.
piece.
So,
Okay.
so they can, they can now take pictures, of amazing Earth vistas and just like post those straight to Instagram, which is fun.
Wonder if they have to unplug the modem every few weeks. I think it's kind of cool. One of the things that I had heard recently, and I can't remember who had said this, there was this guy that got really PO'd and he deleted his Instagram. And the reason that he did this was that he saw a video of somebody summiting Mount Everest. And he was like, I was pissed. Because I should not be able to see that. I'm sitting in my freaking comforter chair, and somebody that has spent their life training to get to the summit of Mount Everest just showed me that. And here I am like a dumb human, like scrolling through that and seeing that. And that's special, and they should only enjoy that. I'm not saying I agree with that, because like maybe we'd never be able to do that.
Sure.
But I just thought that was funny, because now we'll be in space, and we're going to have like these little like
You're like, I don't need to go to
videos.
space. I saw the video space.
Yeah, it was there. It's like somebody in a helmet flipping the visor. Haha, check this out.
To me, it feels like they didn't have amazing cameras up in space. Like if I was I mean, if I was NASA and you had to send some stuff and you had to get amazing photos, I imagine you would use like some crazy DSLR thing or something on the outside of the ship that would take it, not through a window. I just feel like selfies on a ship. Plus, these were very much specifically called out as iPhones, so this makes me think it's some kind of like product deal that they have with Apple, which I could absolutely see in this administration.
And I would say yes, there's probably some deal. And now you just perpetuated it. We're perpetuating it.
Or we're just
but the other
spreading rumors.
Here's my quick thing, and then we got to nail through some of
Yeah.
these news. Is that I think that they're doing this because there's something different from a DSLR that takes all this thing to then somebody just being like, I want to take this cool little like different picture of something.
Sure.
Or here's like here's a angle that you wouldn't typically see. Like I'm in a spaceship, like drinking some water right here or eating food, and here's a real moment of that. Not
Or
this,
like selfie
produced.
style. You're
Yeah.
supposed to, where it's like you're gonna hold up a DSLR to do that. No,
Gosh, yeah.
I mean it's promotion, it's marketing at that point.
All right, next one up. This one like supports Ryan. You take this one.
So, we talked about Australia, putting in a social media ban for anyone under the age of 16. Adam and I had a debate about this last week or the last show. Anyway, check out that one if you want to see Adam and I take maximalist positions on whether children should have technology or have no
Until they're
technology.
16.
Yeah. And so Australia is doing this. They put that into place. Lots of other
That
places
was social
are
media,
reading-
not technology.
Not
Just-
technology. Yes, definitely. Social media. And so basically you have to prove that you're over the age of 16 with like different, verification things. And Spain is now taking up that exact same thing. They've read the same, literature about it that is hurting children, that is, taking down test scores, that it would be better if you didn't have that until you were 16. So they're trying all of that stuff. I would say, this is probably more like the more people in the European Union are going to be doing stuff like this. That's become a big thing. So I don't think we're going to see it stop with Spain. And of course, there's going to be critic things about it, but I'll let Adam do his side of the argument.
I mean, clearly I won the argument last time.
I don't know. I feel like there was,
Yeah.
we'll see.
I think my biggest thing about this is, go ahead, try to ban 16-year-olds from doing this. But to your credit, I'm going to go on your side, is that I think surveillance might be able to help actually do this if they could use it in the right kinds of way. So banning younger people from being able to get on social media and the internet, I don't know. I feel like it's almost impossible. It's like the war on drugs in America. Like how can you truly stop it? So how do you just educate on the other side of it? I feel like it's an interesting concept. And
my argument against that is that like, yeah, you have to try though. Like just throwing up your hands and being like, we're never going to be able to regulate it, like is how you get, the gun control laws that we have, in the United States right now, which is hardly any. And so in this sense, you're like, hey, we should be trying some things and seeing if that works. And I'm interested in a bigger test of this than just Australia.
I would say my 2 cents on it is you educate on the other side so that you just get the smart ability to navigate life and understand what's happening as best as possible instead of trying to regulate against things.
You could do both.
You could do both. Fair enough. We'll just agree to disagree, right?
Sure.
Next up, social media addiction. Guess what? Who's going to court? Meta and YouTube.
Almost like their things are terrible for children and they're finally getting called out on it.
Yeah, so sue the damn places that have social media, Ryan. That's
great.
That's the
we
gig
are.
right
We're doing
here.
all the things. We're doing all of it.
So there's a major lawsuit. They're targeting Meta and YouTube, and so it's claiming the companies are deliberately designed their platforms to be addictive to children. That's basically the whole lawsuit. So they're the legal experts are coming in and they're saying that this is a turning point in how courts treat social media impact on youths. So we heard in Australia, they're going to ban it.
Yep.
Europe, Spain, they're going for that. Now they're starting to see this coming out.
This is in America.
Yeah.
This is where this lawsuit is coming.
I mean, those are American companies, so yeah,
well,
you have to assume.
you have to sue them in America.
I guess
No.
so.
Yeah. They sue companies in outside of America all the time, I feel like. But part of this is hey, make them come out and say it. And I feel like bringing it to court is the way to do it, right? Like you got to be able to, show that you can argue that point that they are building it. And I feel like they would have quite a bit of evidence. So I'll be looking at this, but you just throw enough lawyers at something in America and boom.
Yeah. They're just going to be like, oh my God, where's the, here's $1 million. Here's $1 billion.
Here's millions of dollars for lawyers to just drag this out for forever until we hit AGI.
It's not a thing. All right. We're going through the gauntlet of news today.
Yep.
This one has a personal piece because that I've been
Adam's been making music, AI music.
I've been making a digital album,
and this is on the opposite side of that with people like using this technology for evil and not good, like Adam is.
So here's the deal: is I have been using Suno, but I've also been using my own like content to like write like lyrics, and then I've been going in and I've spent a good probably like 40 hours up to this point on writing and creating my album. You saw some of these. If you wait to the very end of the show, you get some insights on what those songs are going to sound like. Album's going to be dropping pretty soon. But when I saw this, I was like, oh crap. North Carolina musician charged with music streaming fraud aided by artificial intelligence. I was like, oh my God. All right. This is deep.
This is the evil side of it. Basically, it's like using a bunch of AI to create a bunch of songs and then also using bots to click on those songs and listen to them. And then this guy gets a bunch of royalties, right? And, it's like millions of dollars in royalties that this guy was getting. I mean, like hundreds of thousands or millions of views on or listens to all of this stuff. And I don't know how good they were, but I felt like, oh man, you could just see that like once you start being able to do this stuff at scale, easy to scam.
Disturbed. I'm watching ads in Spanish right now for some reason. Maybe it's because we talked about it. The funny thing about this one is like, can we just pause for a second and say, it's pretty genius of this dude. Like, just use AI, flood it with a bunch of freaking AI songs, and then use bots and AI to listen to said songs and screw over the company. I don't know. There's something cool about that.
I mean, he would have gotten away with it if he didn't also then add the bots to it. So they must be terrible songs, I assume, or you wouldn't have to do that. I mean, I imagine there's a ton of people being like, hey, I'll just flood a bunch of AI music into this and maybe I'll get, not millions of dollars, but I could see getting
Here's my question, because this is something that I actually, going back to the music I'm creating, is like, is it music? Like, if I put AI aided music out there, how much would you care about it? Because I had my sons listen to it, right?
Right.
And they're like, it doesn't have like that human part to it. And then he came back to it later and he's like, actually it does. And like, actually yours was better than this other song I was listening to. And he's like, just the fact that I know you had AI is what kind of had done that.
Right. I also agree, because I feel like here's the problem. You also don't know how much is Adam and how much is AI, right? And then part of it is you knowing that you didn't like sing necessarily it, right? Or like you're sort of like the songwriter, like I have a
hot take on that.
And so then I feel like people in the background sort of automatically go, well, like it has to blow me away for it to be acceptable in that way, right? Like, so if it's just normal song good, well, you didn't put enough effort into it as a normal like human being that had to learn an instrument and do all that stuff did. So it needs to be like not only at that level, but like higher than that level for me to be like, oh man, amazing.
So here is what I had found out about this, and I've been doing it. Is number one, I did this about a year and a half ago, where you would put in the song, you'd push a button, and it would come out with the song, and it would take the lyrics and it would create it. So now I can go and sing a song, and not be great at the singing, but generally good at it. Yeah. And then I click, so I record that, I put it into the platform, and then I push a button that says cover that, and it takes my lyrics and it re-sings them like I've done it, and it changes my voice a little bit and creates a song. So if you're really good at like playing the guitar but not singing, it'll add the voice. If you're really good at singing and you don't have the guitar, it'll put the guitar in.
It's just hard for people to I feel like effort that goes into something very much influences how like There's things outside of a song that influence how much people like that song. The band and their personality and what they stand for and how much they write of it. I feel like when you say someone's a singer-songwriter, you're like, oh, you put more emphasis on that because you didn't have some Yahoo writing their song for you and then you're singing it. So like a singer-songwriter is higher than just a singer in my opinion, right? And there's different layers of that. And so I feel like it's just always, I mean, the same with illustration, right? You could do the same thing as and say, well, I put in lots of effort into changing this and doing things and I added some AI parts to it, but there's always just going to be that. I think for right now, I think once, everyone starts using it and it's just incorporated into everything, I feel like it'll have less stigma around it.
And I would say here's my 2 cents. If you want to listen to my album or whatever this looks like, it's a West Coast 90s rap rock hip hop kind of inspired by 9 Inch Nails, Rage Against the Machine, Snoop Dogg, and like the Dr. Dre to Chronic.
Wow.
So that's the vibe you're going to get from this. But here's the other thing that I would just end this little comment on is that within Suno, and this is what makes me feel like I have spent time, not just here's lyrics, point it in, hit a button.
Totally.
Now what it does is it separates all of the tracks. So now I'll have, here's voice track, here's the synths, here's the drums, here's the guitar, here's all those pieces. So you can edit
it like more
Then I've been
specifically.
taking them into a digital audio system and splitting it out, equalizing tracks, cutting pieces, starting to remix it, adding new sounds. And so I've been in the mix of doing all of like the audio mastering.
It's like what an audio editor would do, right?
Absolutely.
Like, so somebody else would play the instruments and do the things and sing the songs. And then you'd be like, now I'm editing it all together in this amazing like orchestra of it.
I have been listening to it and I think it's a vibe. So you should all listen.
Hey,
to my stuff.
when is that coming out?
I got to get to the, like, I want an hour of content. I have like really good like flow of story of what's going to get. You're going to get it soon. So
Nice.
I'd say within the next couple months, you can have have it dropping.
Amazing. All right, next one. Should we watch this ridiculous human robot sex bot thing?
I wouldn't call it a sex bot, Ryan.
Well,
But
you wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Maybe. Hold on, I need to figure out how to get this like on the stream.
This
Here.
is what is this? What is this robot called?
It's
Droid Up, a Moya.
It's called Moya. Let me
Moya
see if I could do it here.
from the studio Droid Up.
Yeah, here we go. Check this out. We're just gonna talk over this one.
This is playing to everyone.
Yeah, everyone should see this right now.
All right.
Y'all seeing this? If you're out there, let us know. So, shadow drop it.
Yeah, right. So this is a company out of China, right? Like, or South Korea, trying to make a very realistic looking.
Look at how it's walking here.
Humanoid?
Now they're gonna put a freaking like AI or animated version here, but like
They're zooming too much in on her butt for this to not be a set. How anatomically correct is this robot?
because
Do we
they're
know?
saying the micro movements of this robot
Yeah, the micro
are
movements.
what makes it feel human. Like they're like these ones aren't as human, but
Oh.
it's creepy.
They're all. We are very much in the like the uncanny valley.
animated.
Yeah, anime. Like this is a 3D thing,
But it's
and
getting close. Yeah,
it's getting close. I will say that they only show a couple seconds of it walking, which makes me think if you were watching the entire thing, it would look like a janky robot walking that tries to put a little wiggle in the hips. But human micro expressions this robot can do.
Well,
it's just set on the screen.
But they're focusing on making sure that they
Okay.
program those pieces in. And so, yes, I mean we're joking about it from that side, but we're getting closer to this thing where it's going to be the future where there's going to be these robots that might like convince us. Like we're laughing right now. This is the Will Smith spaghetti moment, right?
Totally, yeah. In 2 years, this will be Adam's mistress.
Yeah, right. Okay, right.
Look at this.
on the
Look how fake and animated that is, and then it goes back to them sort of jankily walking down.
Yeah,
the thing.
2 years
Yikes.
from now is man gets a penis ripped off in Moya robot clone that he did not maintenance correctly.
he didn't get the new security patch update to his Moya robot, and it just straight up ripped his dick off.
coming, Ryan.
I'm coming. I can't wait to have that as part of the news section in 2 years.
Oh man. The funny part is everyone that's watched that video and every single different video I looked up on YouTube, the very first comments were like, "Oh my god, we're almost there, guys. Sex robot." Like there's a lot of people like we're so close.
So close. So close. Stealth Mouth gave me the finger in the chat. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, that you would have mistresses. I apologize. All right.
Oh my god, that was a good one.
Next one. This was from the Discord. Somebody posted the Disturbed, I think, posted this in the Discord. This is about Discord and about how Discord is now making you do one of these face IDs to verify your age. So they're doing age verification on Discord now.
Which, man, I'm really excited to get into the surveillance piece of this. So
Yeah.
the hot take was it drops in of course, in our Discord.
Discord,
It drops about
ironically.
face ID, and predictably within 48 hours people lost their collective shit on this
Yeah.
because they had already had a data breach,
Right.
with
And so then,
70,000 IDs.
Totally. And then to be like, hey, Discord, maybe not the best time to say, hey, trust us with a whole bunch of new information about everyone, which includes face IDs and all of this stuff. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's starting next month, but then they came back and they retracted. They're like, "Oh,
Did they?
we are that." I feel like this is part of the surveillance thing. I do talk about it, but I'm going to give you it right now. Is they were like, "Hey, we are tracking you because we know how long you've had your Discord account. We know what you're doing on those Discord accounts. So you're probably not going to have Face ID." I was like, "That doesn't make me feel any better."
They're like, we don't really need your face. We know everything about you because of your Discord behavior.
Don't
and you're
worry
like,
about it.
Great. Okay. I guess I won't have to take the 5 minutes to do that, but I'm also very feeling very not very privacy motivated to do this. What I thought was interesting. So Mike Azul in the Discord was like, when are we vibe coding our own Discord, right? And man, we're going to talk about that in a little bit with the SaaSpocalypse that is coming up. But I was also thinking, tell me this wouldn't be an interesting thought experiment.
Okay.
Or maybe even a show? Like, could we vibe code? What could we vibe code and remove ourselves from like almost every type of software that is out there? Like, could you be like, I have my own thing of Discord, right? I have my own thing of Monday.com to do on my projects. We have our own freaking Trello that Adam already built. Like, how much of that could you just take away from organizations? Man, I bet you could get pretty far on that. And like, I don't know, we're not here now, but we'll talk about it a little bit in the
I wasn't
stories.
planning on showing this, but I'm gonna do it because it's on topic. If you're
Okay.
cool with this for just
Sure.
a second, I'm gonna show you something I've been vibe coding because I vibe coded on Claude and I made a Discord, or not a Discord, but it was kind of Trello, but there was my version of it, and then I had like a whole Duolingo thing to it, and I really took it to it. Like I absolutely use it. I just am afraid that if I use it too much, then I can't update it because I vibe coded that's my challenge. Right now, I'm starting workouts. I'm starting doing meals. And I was like, man, I don't like all these recipes and crap out there that gives me like their life story. I want to make my own thing. So if you just indulge me for just 2 seconds, more than 2 seconds here.
So this is a thing you vibe coded in Claude?
I vibe coded this in ChatGPT because I had not had a chance to do this in ChatGPT. You can go check this out right now. So I own minutes.network. That's a website. That's pretty sweet. So I'm going to show you the first vibe of that I did. And I called this thing called it's minutes.network/meals. And so you go over there, and what I wanted to create was a non-database driven meals per week app. And the idea would be is that every week it would automatically give me what meal I should be cooking and then what I should be eating on a day-by-day basis. And so essentially what this does is it just reads your device, tells you what day of the week it is, and then it tells you what you should be doing for that week. And I took it down to the 52 weeks of the year, and then you can go through and it will be like, all right, on week 6, you're on cycle 1, and this is supposed to be the fish week. You can adjust it for the amount of people that you're eating for. And so I'm like 3 people, whatever. And then essentially it will tell you like the shopping list of what you should be able to be purchasing for that week, what you should be eating every day of that week. And then I made a little glossary section of like, hey, here's how you make your little spices and here's the little recipes for it. So I started with this and I was like, holy crap, that's amazing. Then I was like, I want to add my workouts to it. And let me show you where I vibe coded within. This is, and like I said, I'm going to be done in just a second. But so here's the current version where I added workouts to it. So if you go, I called this one called Forge. So I said, I want workouts to be on this and I want recipes. So what essentially this does now, I pull out my phone, say I'm in the gym, and I want to track where I'm at on my workout for the day. I can click on the day and it'll say like what are you eating for that particular day? In this case, it was like the chicken wings and rice in this particular one. I have a schedule that I can bring up. I don't believe I did the schedule for this week. So let me do this. So if I click on over here, I can go and say, I'm going to add a plan. I can update my list.
How much of this did it build just sort of for you on your, without you specifically calling it out?
None of it. Like
No.
I had to be very specific. So I have to go to the version 7. So if I click on a particular day, so this is Thursday, right? It's the 12th. It knows it's the 12th. I can say, hey, what exercise did I do? I hit the day and I'll say, okay, well, I did a walk today. So then I can say, I hit this. I can say walk. I can spell it right.
Typing on camera, tough.
Yeah, I know. I'm a terrible typist already. And so let's say I said 2 miles. So then I just added this entry of what I did for the day. And that's great. So now I can say I completed that workout for the day. I'll save it. And it will allow me to like track the things per day. So if I go to like Wednesday, here were the things that I might have done. I can say, yep, I completed all my tasks for that Wednesday, and it'll start to show these workouts. So it's a tracking app for myself.
Yeah.
Saves it locally, no database used, and it clears it out on the weekly basis. But if I wanted to, I could export it as a CSV file.
Nice.
And then the other thing is I have a little shopping list. So I hit the shopping list, and you can add your own things. These
That's
are little
fun.
things that I did. And then so for the week, I'm able to do that. Vibe coded for the things that I want out of how Adam's brain works.
Love it.
Just
Love
want to
it.
show you that. So
That's great. Great job. I feel like we're going to get into more of how that is affecting the economy here in a little bit. But like, great. Would you say that the ChatGPT coding experience was different than the Claude one?
It was. Mike Azul, I appreciate you. Yes, it's using local storage. I was very specific about not having a back end to it because I wanted it just to like be able to live out there and not have to worry about any database maintenance. And so the idea is that you use local storage. And so local storage is essentially like you can keep it on your device. And so every time you go to it, and you could have notes as long as I guess you don't clear cache or the local storage, it will save all that stuff.
Okay.
And then the export to CSV was my like backup if you really wanted to care about it and save it.
Sure.
So vibe coding is fun. So the answer to your question is ChatGPT different than Claude? Yes. It took ChatGPT, I went in and I was like, make the schema, which basically was like all the files that we're going to put into this. And I was like, let's make the plan before we start building this because I want to like have a plan so we would phase through this.
Yeah.
And the difference is on Claude, or at least the GUI side of it, it would like show it writing the code. I'd copy out the code, I'd put it in a file, then I would test it. In this version, I said, build the whole thing, put it in a zip, and give me the zip. And it did.
Nice.
Then I had to host it. It was really fun. Sorry, thanks for the little
Yeah, no, that's
ability to do
great.
that
I love
fun
this
stuff.
vibe coding side conversation. Great.
All right, which maybe we could talk about these last couple pretty
Sure.
quickly here. You talked about SaaS, and maybe it's a good follow up on this one.
Oh
Tell
my
me
God,
about SaaS.
the
because this-
SaaS apocalypse has happened. Adam, didn't you know? So, what happened? You know what SaaS stands for? Software as a Service. And there's a ton of companies that are like this. Salesforce is like this. Workday is like this. Monday, tons of places, right? Adobe is like every place. And what has happened is they have lost a ton of market capital over the last week, I would say, and that's because these ChatGPT and Claude both released brand new, like, sort of vibe coding applications and coding for this stuff. And people are seeing inside, or they're basically looking at it and saying, man, why would anyone pay for software if they could do what Adam did and in a few hours come up with these amazing pieces of software that are specific to their use cases? And people were looking at that and went, man, it's not going to be too soon that those types of companies are worth way less than they used to be. Now, they used to be worth a ton and people invested in them a ton because, hey, took a lot of man hours to move over from a company like that to a different company.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of churn, they could get people in and just keep updating and grading, and people would end up just, signing up for the next year. It was too hard to get out of those systems. But now, I mean, people are basically saying, like, no one is going to do this now. Target is not going to get out of Workday for their entire company because some freaking Adam in IT vibe coded them a new way to use their HR services, right? Because there's be all this, security issues and all of this, and how do you go in and make changes and do all of that? So, like, very few of that is happening right now. But man, what does that look like in 18 months? Like, maybe if I'm just a security person, IT security, I could go in, use some vibe coded thing, add some stuff to it, and now I'm not paying Workday and I'm not paying Salesforce all of those millions of dollars that I was paying them before to do these massive HR things when you could do it in-house, right? And it would be very specific to your specific needs that you need as the client. And so they're saying, woo, I don't think these companies are going to be as dominant in our landscape as they had been for the last 10 years.
I'm starting to see it. I've heard that, like, also smaller indie kind of businesses are going to start to flourish a little bit more in these next years because they can create little niche kind of businesses that will meet smaller markets, but people can kind of survive off that.
Yeah. One
One of the things that I've been doing with this vibe coding is, like, I always feel like I'm falling behind. I remember when the responsive web design started coming out, and I'm like, I'm nuts to that. I can't. And then I just, like, worked with it, and I got into it, and I was like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought.
Sure.
That's what I'm doing with these, like, apps, is that there are ways that I want an app to work, and why would I go buy, and you said, like, Monday.com, why would I do that when I can make my own version of it?
Yeah. Yeah, and so it feels like investors are sort of seeing the writing on the wall for these types of places. I don't think it'll come around eventually. I don't think it'll be a cliff that they fall off, but it's just not going to be the constant upward revenue streams that they were, prior to literally these latest versions of coding AI bots that are out.
Before the main topic, Ryan.
Yeah.
I think we gotta end with this one.
Okay.
Because, like, we've talked about work, we've talked about AI. AI doesn't reduce work. It intensifies it. Tell me about this.
So this is an HBR research study that posted to HBR, Harvard Business Review article. And really what it is saying is that, people who use a lot of AI in their work and in their life don't actually make up for extra time and now have a bunch of extra time, right? It intensifies the work that you are doing. And in fact, it probably makes you work even more than you were before. And part of that is understanding, like, a lot of, like, software developers and people are doing vibe coding stuff. They're saying, hey, I could set this AI agent to go off and do something and create something while I'm gone. So, like, between every meeting and every, weekend, I got to be setting it up to go and do things while I'm sleeping. And if you're not doing that, then you feel like, you're wasting, precious time for things. I would say on my side, it does make me feel like I need to keep up.
Yeah,
like I need
sure.
to, that, like, I have this extra superpower with me, and that if I don't use that, then somebody else is going to come in and start using that and double, triple, quadruple my output, and I'm going to look, replaceable at that point. So I feel like there are times where I go like, oh man, if I could do this in 20 minutes, like I need to up my game even more so that I stay on top of these things, because now AI is this amazing assistant. So I don't know how you feel. Does this align with how you use AI?
I feel that there are people that are just not understanding how it can, like, there's this, it's like a content producer to a lot of people. They're like, it just spits out things and it doesn't write it in the right way. I'm like, oh my goodness, like you have to like craft it so that it does what you need to do. You do have to be an expert in your field, but it then can just amplify how much you can do. I think it sucks because we're like, well, at least in the industry and sector I'm in higher education, defunded like nuts. Federal government is not about higher education, and especially in Colorado, it's like we're always in the upper 40s of the least amount of funding from higher education. So imagine being in that kind of environment where you do not have the resources you need to do, and you're always asked to do a gazillion things.
Sure.
Like it's almost mandatory to be able to even meet the needs of what we're doing. Yeah. And so it sucks in a certain way because you have to do like what maybe 6 or 7 people would be doing. Yes. But
6 or 7.
Yeah. Oh God, why did I even think that? It's like ingrained. I've been programmed. Oof. Anyways, I would say that it's nice in a lot of ways, but then I feel like it's becoming a crutch, and there are moments where I'm like, if I did not have this, I do not think I could work at the level that I work.
Yep.
But I would say this. In the last probably 3 or 4 months, I have found myself writing my own emails more and like putting in my own thoughts and not just being like, oh, I'm writing an email. I should see what ChatGPT does.
Right.
Like how I should do this.
Sure.
I've just been like, you know what? I know how to write a freaking email.
Yeah.
And I don't need it to tell me sycophantically that like, oh, that's
How great
great,
it is.
but you should do this little thing. And then
Sure.
you're like in a loop of doing it a billion times.
Yeah, we'll just see how more and more of this goes. I do feel like at some point there's going to be kind of a haves and have-nots of people who are like into AI and use it all the time and do that, and there are people who are going to get left behind, and we'll talk a little bit about this during our main topic. Do we have a bumper here for a main topic?
We didn't do the news one, but hey, cover your ears if you have this in your thing and your volume's up. We heard that it's really loud, so it's about that time, folks, for
It's the main topic with Adam and Ryan on the Hangout.
Who sang that?
that was me, baby.
But like with also the Suno thing, or was that just straight up you?
No, that wasn't me. I was lying on that one. No, that I did write the little thing,
Sure.
and I put it through Suno. I think I can't remember what it
Okay,
is.
nice.
Well, welcome to the main topic tonight.
Welcome.
I am so excited about this particular one.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I called this pattern detectors, and you're going to see why I call that in a little bit. So Ryan and I have had a lot of conversations, and if you hadn't checked it out, we are also starting to expand our little insights outside of the show. And you can find those little shorts on YouTube, Instagram. I've done some on LinkedIn as well.
Oh, that's right. You posted yours on LinkedIn.
But the idea is that we want to be able to spread these little insights. It's not normal for everyone to be able to jump in and listen to a 3-hour show. And those that do,
Bless
you are the freaking amazingest people. And so thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. You're what makes us want to do this as we go through.
100%.
And if you stick around, maybe just a little quick bumper on this is that we're going to be having our 100th episode on Twitch.
That's right.
And we would love to have some of you join us live on a Zoom call, potentially, if you're into it, to be able to share some insights. A community show is coming up soon.
Next time. Next one. 100th episode.
Check out the Discord. We'll have more information. But we're going to jump in today to talk about surveillance, the pattern detectors.
Yep.
And what we say by pattern detectors is with the onset of AI, it's now opened up this bigger door for being able to track and surveil people in ways that we could never have thought in the past.
Right.
And I think that it's a really important topic for us to think about. And it's not something that's new, but it's something that I feel like it's been under the surface for such a long time. And AI is only going to intensify it and only create this situation where it's going to track us in ways that are not just tracking anymore, but also like determining our patterns and maybe predicting where we might be in ways that I do not think are necessarily the best for some of our society going forward. Now, I won't say I'm going to have the hottest of takes of going negative or bad on this, but we just want to produce some facts tonight and have some discussion around it.
Well, and like we said, they're very topical because I feel like, the people start thinking about this type of thing when it is in the news. And right now in America, it is in the news, like people are going to protests. There's ICE things that are happening. And, a lot of those have to do with surveillance, how they are finding people and just, being able to see some of that stuff happening in real time in your country makes you go, man, we should do a deeper dive into not only how surveillance is happening right now, which I found super interesting and also very scary, but man, just like the future of this stuff and what it could go into is a whole rabbit hole to go down, and one worth talking about, I feel like, especially at this moment in time.
100%. Here's the format for the night. We're trying a little something different. We're not going super deep into like being able to answer with the exact facts and data driven kind of thing. We're still having the Hangout vibe, but we're going to ask some questions and we're going to try to answer them as kind of lightly, casually as we go through the night. And so we want to start a little bit early on just kind of like the what's the present day for us? Like how does the Adams and Ryans of the world live during the day?
Yeah.
And so as we start to think about some of this, I was trying to copy and paste the question. I might not be able to come to this. But what does it mean to live in a day mapped by data? Like, what do your days look like? And Ryan, like, give me some hot takes on kind of where you're at in your day.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like the hard part is you don't feel it a lot of the times, right? Like there are sort of there are probably community members who feel it more than other community members, right? Like if you are part of a marginalized ethnic group right now in America, you probably feel it more, like you could say like, oh man, I don't want to go outside, or I need, they talked about people bringing groceries to people and in people in Minnesota, who are being targeted by ICE raids and stuff. And so those people probably feel a lot more surveilled and mapped in a way that like I necessarily don't feel on a day-to-day basis. And but in some ways, like you're still being mapped, you're still being tracked in a variety of different ways. But I feel like in some ways you just don't feel it as much as you would feel in some other ways.
100% agree, and I feel like we're gonna get into what that means. Let me get practical with you here. My day, I wake up. First thing I do is I've been woke up, number one, by a Google Hub. The hub is connected to the internet. It already starts to play some things that I pre-programmed into it. And then I pick up my phone. My phone knows that I turn it on. It knows that I pick it up. It knows that I go and I check some news. I log into a camera system where I'm able to check on my wife. And that is internet connected. And then as I get up, I look at my watch to see my sleep patterns that I've had over the night. How well did I sleep? I might start to scroll some social, which it then is tracking me. It starts to understand that maybe even more my GPS is at that point. So it starts right off the bat of understanding where I'm at. I'm getting calendar pings. It knows every morning that I wake up and my Nest hits on at 6 a.m. and starts doing the heat, because it knows it's learned our patterns that we wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
And these are all like self-imposed surveillance
100%.
on yourself. Like nobody gave you this or forced you to have a Nest or a Google thing in your house.
And 100%. We're going to get into that because I think that's a critical piece of what we're going to get into, is that we have done this as a society. It's not surveillance at the scale that maybe we've been thinking about, where there's an event that happens. It's passive. It's ambient settings in our day that we're starting to just accept as we navigate this. So our digital lives are surveilled in ways that we're not even acknowledging, so to speak. Yeah. It knows these things. It's collecting that data. Now, Is AI doing things behind the scenes? We'll get to that in a little bit, but at least there are data points that have been collected of me that it models what's happening throughout my day.
The only thing that I would say that I feel like I notice a lot of surveillance stuff is I use HubSpot for marketing for Network Leader. And part of that is, it's basically a customer, database. But man, I didn't realize how much data that you can get out of people being on your website, connecting you, like I can see how long you stayed reading a marketing email that I sent. I can see, how quickly you opened it, what links you clicked on. I mean, there are a million different data points that we can do that we do for connecting with people and marketing. And that has shown me how much, I almost never click on marketing emails now because I know how much is tracked through them. And so that's a part of my day where I see the surveillance in real time.
If you get a marketing email, typically, and if you look at any URLs, there is a question mark in the URL followed by sometimes an equal sign or something that has a whole string of data. So if you're copying and pasting those, even if every YouTube you share, Instagram you share, that question mark and all of that other data, it's tracking it to you. It's tracking to your account. It's tracking to an ad campaign so that it knows that, oh, somebody clicked that link. So now go tell this system that link got clicked and where did it come from, what device, what person. So those are all the things that are just you don't think about because it's a click.
And a lot of it, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but it doesn't even take physically clicking on something. It just sort of knows about you and knows where you work and what you've been doing and all of that. It takes very little input from the person to get a pretty good profile of that person, which is scary.
The thing that I always to put it at is that we used to log on. Now we just live inside the feed.
Right.
We're constantly in it.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I wear this watch to bed makes me part of it. It knows when I'm sleeping. It knows my heart rate. It knows when I get up.
Yeah. And I guess it's what do you do with that data? Because there can be good things and bad things that you do with that data, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So
I would say as far as the question of how the day is mapped is that, it feels ordinary in certain cases, but it really does have some engineered pieces to it. Maybe not completely all together because there's a lot of disparate different companies that are doing that. But when you live inside that, opting out is not easy anymore. It's starting to become just how we live.
Yeah.
And so there's intentionality. We see in the chat that folks are getting rid of things in the house that do that, like Echo Dots or things like that. How many times have you had a conversation with someone and then all of your feeds start to be the thing that you had that conversation?
Right.
It's listening to y'all.
And some of it too is even even if it wasn't listening to you, it's building a profile of you that can sort of predict that you might want that type of thing as opposed to somebody else.
So, which would lead me to maybe the next question is how are we confusing convenience with consent? Because for me, what that means is it is convenient a lot of times. So as we start to go through some of these things, think about the apps that we use on a daily basis. It is asking and usually harvesting more data about our location, our contacts, some of the behavior than it ever needs to do. Sometimes you download the calculator app and it's we need to know your contacts. Can we know and access your photos?
Right.
Why do you need that? I just need computations.
I just need a calculator.
Yeah.
When I was researching this, I learned about data brokers. Have you heard of data brokers? I'd not really understood about this, but a data broker is a person who's maybe hasn't built the app, hasn't necessarily added any of those technologies or done that, but is just collecting data from public places, you know, like what is your address? Where do you live? Do you have kids in school? Like there's lots of public data that people can get about you, and then scraping websites and what, you know, where have you checked in? Where have you done on social media? And so they sort of build these profiles of people, and then they sell those profiles to companies out there. And so, you know, your insurance company might want to see a profile of you before they decide what your, you know, health insurance is going to cost. And so if they know, you know, or a car company might know that Adam has, you know, expendable income and he's in the right age of being, you know, ready to do a midlife crisis, you know, little sports car purchase. And so then if they can get that down into like a very specific thing, I mean, one of those, what was the one that Facebook got in trouble in the 2016 election? Like they had the data analytica or whatever that was.
Yes.
And they said that they had like 5,000 data points on each person. And what they used that for is that was a data broker, and they were like, hey, we will give you all of this data on these Facebook users so that you can start changing their political views and who they might vote for based on all of these data points, and give them very specific ways that they're going to, you know, change their opinion. And they found out they can easily change people's opinion. Facebook did tons of experiments on people where they would fill up their feed full of negative stuff, and they posted more negative things. And if you filled it up with positive stuff, they posted less, actually, because they were happy and they weren't on Facebook. And so they said, no, don't do that. Post negative things. And those were all stuff that came from like data brokers basically creating a profile of you, which is definitely happening right now, and scary to see how much information they have.
And scarier because now that data can be leveraged and worked with AI in different capacities. And
Right.
I want to pause because we could get to that. That's going to be future state, but
More future state
to your point, I think that's the scary thing about this, is that it's not just like a camera that's looking at you and, oh, they got your face now. It's like this whole pattern, this insights around you that then they can use to manipulate, gaslight, move it. I think this is why we're so polarized as a country in the US, is that you're going to like really push people to these different extremes and get you all riled up. You're going to think, hey, this is what a conservative, this is what a liberal is, because you pulled them so far away because you know what those triggers are.
They call them wedge issues in politics. They say, here's the wedge issue, and then we can now sever off this person because they care about one side of this issue and another person cares about this side, and we can, you know, hopefully get them doing that. I know you were talking about all the tools that they had. One thing that I thought was interesting that we saw in a couple of those videos and research was that it's still not about, like, imagine collecting all of that data. It's what you like use that data for, is whether you're like a straight up surveillance state, you know, that is basically this, you know, big brother controlling people. You wouldn't have to necessarily use it that way. Like, you could have all of this stuff and use it to improve people's lives. And typically what happens is when you start getting more authoritarian, they start using that to control, you know, populations, to remove dissent, to remove radicalization at its sort of core. But like, in some ways we use a lot of that data to keep people in power in check and things. Like, there's transparency in having that much data out there, but when it's concentrated in one sort of pocket, it always just seems to turn to a control.
I absolutely think that that's something that we're getting into, is that because of the controls that are out there and some of these pieces, it's not just like control that you can see, it's like internalized control. If you know you're being watched, you might be a little bit more careful what you say, you might be careful what you text, you might be careful what you post.
Right.
And so as we start to go through this, I think that my take on at least the convenience side here is that it may cost nothing, so to speak, and it feel great to be able to talk to your things in your house or see things through your video. but when you look closer, you might be the product that's really being optimized.
Right.
Is what this is coming out to be. And I wanted to get this first section on kind of some of the present things out. And this one, you and I talked about in a little side Discord, and like, what does it mean? And so what happens when surveillance becomes intimacy? And I kind of use the intimacy as a word of not necessarily like a love kind of thing, but maybe love in a way, is that we have all of these things that make us feel safe. Ring, for example, we talked about it with the Super Bowl commercial. We have like Apple's Find My Phone kind of perspectives. You know, we think about the different things that make us feel safe around that, but that also are collecting our data at the same time. So it's like when surveillance is more of like, oh, you need this because guess what? It's going to protect you. But really, it's still collecting that data. So the Super Bowl commercial, The Ring, we talked about, like the dog running around the neighborhood, that's getting you in the feels, right?
Right.
Or, hey, Face ID for Discord is going to be important because it's going to save the kids.
Right.
But and you're like, oh my God, of course. Why would you not want to save the kids?
And I don't have anything to hide, or I don't, like my face is out there. Like, that's fine. It's just concentrating it in certain people's, what are they doing with it? We have no idea.
Right. And the thing is, we're volunteering it. Like, I'm volunteering it right now. I'm part of this. And so that's maybe why I kind of think about this, is that it's like hard for me to disconnect from it because I feel that there's some value. So if we frame surveillance in different ways, which I feel like is happening with corporations, they're framing it as like, here, we care. We want you to have this shield from these bad things that are happening. It embeds it deeper into us. It allows us to get it in our homes, and it just becomes part of our life, and we don't think about it.
And it's sort of almost like sort of in shitification, right? It's like giving you a thing that is really great for one part of it, but it's doing something in the background, or it's going to do something eventually with what it's doing that is against what you want it to do, but you're already sort of like bought into the whole ecosystem that it's hard to get back out again. I do feel like this goes into sort of even the AI stuff that we were talking about before, where you could be like vibe coding and having your own things and built around your own stuff and giving less information to larger companies out there. Like I would love that to be the future of where that kind of stuff goes, because then places would have less information from you, and you would have more control over your own privacy.
At this point, I think we're in our present is that surveillance is trying to sell the comfort side of the house. You can have it, you can talk to it, it can play you videos, like to the point of the Google commercial that we talked about earlier. Like, you're like, this is how people would use that. But I think that what we call safety really softens the idea that it truly is have some controls on us, and it's able to see some things.
And every company, there are hardly any companies where it feels like they're using our data with our best interest at heart, right? And maybe there are, but I feel like the bad companies outnumber the good, a lot to one.
And there's a middle ground to that too, right?
Yeah.
Like you're collecting data, and I always thought about this as like, think about the companies that collect data, and they might be restricted by policy or law right now. And then as that changes in the future, they still have all the data from the past that they can kind of tap into.
Well, and sometimes data is like good. Like, you want to be able to surveil police, right? Like, I want to be able to take a bunch of cell phone photos of police and do that. So it's like, in some ways you need to, the surveillance goes both ways, but when it's concentrated up at the top, I feel like, especially with AI and stuff, and we'll get into that in the future, that it feels lopsided at that point.
Absolutely. Well, so let's jump into this. Like, let's talk a little bit about like, how did we get here? How did this start to happen? I think that's an important kind of concept to think about. So one of the questions that we might ask is like, how did we normalize watching the public? Like, where did this come from? And I think it's not necessarily like orchestrated. I don't know if that's the right way to say that, because think about 2003-ish, that's when YouTube, I think 2003, 2004, like YouTube or the Facebooks and the MySpaces, that's when the birth of social media came out, and it felt different. It felt like it was a growth. It felt like we were able to connect with each other. It really wasn't about selling at that point. You're like, great, we could get people in these platforms. They're going to share what they eat. They eat in the morning when they go poop and like all of the things. 9/11 happened, right? 2001. What were some of the things that came out of that? The Patriot Act.
Yeah.
That's when we started to really start to find like ways to get to facial recognition. There were ways that we started to think that like sharing data within like certain agencies and private platforms was okay. And then we started to deploy some platforms outside there that were like in some of the different war zones and whatnot. So we could have some policing outside of that. We started this like concept of surveillance, maybe a little outside of it, and we wanted to feel safe, right? It was based on the safety side.
It's one of those things where, you know, like the Patriot Act and all of that kind of stuff, like made it so that there was no like rules around any of this,
Right.
you know? It was just sort of, it was a thing that we had to do for the safety of the country, you know? And so then it sort of felt like, well, your personal data, like I don't see it necessarily going out, and it's just, you know, I'm just clicking on websites and using social media, and how could that, you know, be something that can be used to control me? But like there's absolutely no regulations about any of these things. Like it's mostly built on kind of like uproar from communities and just the public that kind of keeps it at least somewhat in check now. I mean, if we're talking about sort of like the buildup of this kind of stuff, I mean, North Korea also controls their citizens, and they have almost no computers or internet, right? And so like, how do they do it? Well, it's like people, like spies embedded into communities that tell the government and squeal on people and stuff like that. I mean, there's ways to do it without technology that people have been doing for forever to control the populace, but it's just made it so much easier, and it's concentrated it in so few of hands that, man, easy to corrupt at that point. And I mean, the whole gamut is run to be able to control people, you know, with technology or without.
I think that's, you know, you're making some really good points here. And I think that it took some, and if we're talking like the US at this point, let's say like we're tracking from 2001, is that we came out with this concept that, hey, we need to track the terrorists.
Right.
Like that's what this is about.
Yeah.
Now, over the years, it started to get a little bit like softer, and now we're just tracking petty crime, right? You know, it starts with this like big piece of it, and like, was that always in the mind of like this was the opportunity moment, and we're gonna do it, and maybe even for like a little bit, it was used for that reason. Like it was used for that. But it then we forget over time. We didn't really resist it in a way because we were so shocked about what had happened.
Right.
And we were like, we don't want that to happen again. And everyone was unified like in there. There was not a polarization. We don't want to be like, you know, bombed again or like have planes crashing into buildings. But then the thing is, I don't think we saw the arc. We didn't see the chess move that was made at that moment that was going to create where we're at now.
It's because like people were scared in the moment, right? And when you're in that heightened sense of stuff, you go, sure, you know, we need to protect ourselves from terrorists, so just, you know, allow the government to collect whatever data they want. I mean, Snowden came out and he said basically like, hey, you know, they're collecting all of his data, and there was this big uproar about it, but it was already like rooted in the entire system. And just, you know, the way that we use the computers and technology has progressed, and with AI, it just made it easier and easier to collect all of that stuff and take giant data sets that normally would have been hard to, like, you couldn't parse them, right? Like there was just no way to do it. But now with like machine learning and AI, you can do it on a scale that we couldn't before.
No, and so what I would say, like, to kind of sum a little bit of what we're talking about, is that it started, at least for us in America, maybe with the concept of fear. We feared, and on the same side, then there was some comfort pieces that came in when we started talking about the social. Like it didn't feel orchestrated at that point. We started to have just some growth in some different areas. The internet was really starting to become way more popular. We had more speeds. And so then it started to become kind of the default setting. Like
Right.
if you imagine, Facebook at the time, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to collect some data at this point. There wasn't like legislation to say like, hey, you got to be careful about that, or what are you doing with that data? We just freely gave it up, not thinking about it at that moment.
And it's not like there's a whole bunch of crazy rules in there now to keep them from stop doing that. It's not like we've learned some kind of amazing lesson between 2001 and 2026, 25 years later. Like a lot of that stuff is still completely legal. No restrictions on that, selling your data, doing whatever they want with your data. I mean, Europe has come up with some certain things, but man, we not as many lessons learned as I had hoped that we would.
And maybe it is learning lessons, and the corporations are just using it to like
Right.
for the because they're like, okay, we're getting away from this. Because this is a great point, is that the surveillance state isn't just public. It's privatized, it's profitable.
right.
It's like something that isn't just like, it's not just the government anymore. It's you just gotta bring this thing up and be able to have like a corporation that can start to collect. You build an app, build that next killer app.
Stank Plug, first time in the chat. Hey, what's up?
That's right. I don't know.
Thanks for coming in and hanging out.
We're talking about surveillance tonight. So it's a deep topic. I'm like passionate about this one.
This
for
one's
sure.
good. This one's good. It might even be. I was talking to Adam about this. This might even be a two-parter. It seems like we always do sort of shows that feed off of each other. We might do one. So this is particularly on surveillance. We might do one on privacy, which is kind of the opposite side of the coin of like, what are we doing? So anyway, welcome in. Thanks for hanging out.
And so as we get back into the topic, I would say that like my next question as we start to jump through this is like, who profits from this infrastructure? Like, do you think about it from the lens of like, okay, why do we do this kind of thing? Like, where does it come in? Like, where are the reasons that where we're doing this? Like, so we got a lot of data, right?
Yeah.
We're collecting it. Mm-hmm. So there's the normal kind of players, the social media,
advertising, right?
Right.
Of like collecting it so they can sell you stuff that is more particular to what you want. Basically finding out, instead of just sending out mass mailers to everyone, I can now find out who exactly might be interested in buying my product. I feel like that is the most banal of them, is kind of the targeted marketing.
And so I think you're hitting the mark there, is that we started it and saying, oh, we can create funnels. Yeah. Now we know who to market for, and we can do that. Think about what's happening literally in 2005, late 2005, right now with ICE.
Yeah.
There are companies out there that are leveraging different tools to be able to like create face recognition programs. I don't know if you've seen this, Ryan, mm-hmm. where ICE agents, they cover their own damn faces, number one.
Exactly.
And then they're bringing a phone app and they're scanning people's faces and they're getting instant data feeds of everything about that person.
Right.
And so when I say profit, I'm not even saying it from the fiscal perspective. It's like how are they leveraging it in a way to then create some of these situations that we're finding ourselves in.
And in some way, like I was watching these, the videos and doing research on it, and oh my God, it blows my mind. Like the idea that you could just have something over your face, I feel like we're past that, at this point. Like they were talking about in China that they have, the last time they checked, it was like 70 million cameras inside of China in 2021. So that was 5 years ago. I'm sure there's way more than that at this point. And they were doing things like looking at the gait of your walk, and the gait of your walk can identify you as a person. And I was thinking like, that totally tracks with my thing. When I'm sitting in a restaurant or a party and I'm like looking for my wife, like I can pick her out more on her gait than I can seeing her face or what she's wearing, right? Like if Adam walks into the room, I know Adam well enough that I can pick him out because of like just the way that he sort of holds himself and the way that you walk and, you know, sort of the body type and all of that. Man, you put a face mask over that, like, no way. I still know that that's Adam. Like it's sort of the Superman thing where like no one would believe that that was Clark Kent because, you know, he had glasses on and Superman didn't. Everyone would know that that is Superman. And the same thing with this, like they can be able to track you in ways that, you know, just showing your face or just having your eyes is no way is that going to stop.
And to build on what you're saying is that you're talking about one data point. Maybe your gait then starts to get locked in with like your facial recognition to your patterns of what you're doing online, and it starts to build this much bigger pattern, and you become very we were calling it the legible person. You understand,
you are very legible at that point.
It's
I mean, you and I are super legible.
yeah, I'm
like
sure.
We have the whole show. We're 3 hours, 6 hours a week or a month. We are on, you know, internet that is recorded and video and all of that. We are incredibly legible to the system. Ooh, I hope that doesn't bite us in the butt at some point.
At this point, no, we'll ascend to the heavens of
Right.
podcasters here. I would say like my point at this is that as we've gone through this is that, and I've kind of said this a moment ago, is that you don't need a badge anymore. You don't need to be the government. You don't need to be a police organization. You need a business model, and you can collect data.
Right. Yeah, because there's no regulations around it. You can be a company that sends drones up into the air and collects how people are moving and doing nothing. At least in America, man, I feel like there's very little regulation in that. And I feel like it should be regulated the same as, you know, if you were trying to, like if you're arresting people, I feel like it should be almost the same as weaponry. Because you're saying, like, I can understand you and know you, and even, you know, we'll get into the future side of this, like, even nudge you in a very specific direction with all of this data that it has. And man, that is like incredibly powerful.
I absolutely hear what you're saying, and I think we're in full agreement here. And I think too that this surveillance that we're talking about, because we're using the word surveillance in a much broader term than like what maybe we've thought about it in certain ways,
right?
Is that we're now even policing ourselves. And what I mean about that is, do you kind of sometimes, and like I did it before the show as an example, I was like, oh, we shouldn't probably play these Super Bowl commercials because we might get like picked up by like the data, like searching things. Or do you ever find yourself when you're like in public, you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't say that thing,
right? Or
I shouldn't do this thing online because somebody might see it. So now that control, because we know that maybe something's watching us, so that controls you.
It's a
right?
panopticon.
Yeah, it is. What is it? What is a panopticon? Help me understand.
It's this idea of like they built these prisons that were like a donut, and so every cell faced the very middle that had a guard tower in the middle. So it took very few people to guard a massive amount of people because you didn't know if you were being watched or you were, you know, just it was fine and you weren't being watched. You were always sort of had that feeling that you were being watched, and so it kept people in line.
It's 100% on. I don't think it's metaphorical anymore is the problem. Right. It's like we're in this point where like the feedback loops of like watching, we're being watched, and surveillance isn't like just like control anymore. It's just it's like it is the self like editing of ourselves. So we might not think about that. And sometimes it becomes so much like ingrained in how we're going. It's that we don't even know we're self-editing.
Yeah. Hey, did you see? So I posted a YouTube short today that was talking about Yuval Harari, who wrote Sapiens, and he wrote Homo Deus. And so he had some sort of these ideas of like you have this at some point you might have sort of in the future a useless class. And what that meant is like, you know, we're going to get to a point where there's probably technology that is going to surpass the amount of people who can skill up in that area, and we just won't need as many people. And so then what do you do with that useless class, right? Like what you don't, if you're a government or you're a business, high up in a corporation, what you don't want is those people rioting, right? Or radicalizing or becoming dissidents and like getting together and doing that. So if you have this like very controlled state of surveillance, you can just be like, hey, I'm going to pick off those people, make sure that they're, not spreading it around. And sure, I have this UBI that goes out, universal basic income, or you have, free TV or whatever that you're trying to, placate people with. But in the end, like all you care about is sort of placating them and them being okay and them doing that. And they have no self-control over that or anything. Like all of that is just meant to, keep the masses in line, because now we don't have anything for them to do. And those are things I feel like could possibly come up, in this next thing. If we're talking about AI revolution and things we are like not thinking about. We're not even at the UBI point yet.
Didn't they make a movie of this? Idiocracy, Ryan? Like, is that just a historical document at this point? Like,
I rewatched Idiocracy over the Christmas break, and that is
scary.
It's gonna be a historical and educational text at some point.
And to your point, and to what you're just saying, and I'm going to use the word policing.
Yeah.
It's not always like it's armed thing. It's not, it's like there. It is coded. It's predictive. It's ambient. It's personal. It's the things that we are like experiencing and not even thinking about in certain ways.
Yeah, because there's like, if you look into that future, there's sort of the Big Brother 1984 like style version of this, where it is like a hammer hitting you, right? And you don't get out of line, or I'm gonna, kill you, or I'm gonna put you in jail and things like that. I feel like the future is gonna be way more subtle than that. It's gonna nudge you into thinking about things. It reminds me, there's another science fiction book that I have brought up on this podcast before called The Giver, and The Giver is about a society that basically came to a point where nothing hurts them. Everything is sanded off in the corners. Nobody gets in arguments. There's no falling off and hurting yourself. There's no death. There's no disease. There's none of those things. And so there's one person in their whole society that knows about death and knows about uncomfortableness and knows about love and joy and highs and lows. And they like give that knowledge, and they are like very, influential in the community because they have that experience. And man, it sort of seems like you could go towards that, where everything just sort of gets sanded off and rounded down until you're just sort of in your Wall-E chair watching videos and drinking little protein drinks and talking with each other about something and not caring about anything, and everything is just going on around you and you have no agency in any of it.
And I think the hard part of this is that it's hard to break out of that.
Right, because it's so subtle.
It is. And I'm finding myself getting yanked into it, and I'm like, oh, like we talked about friction. You use the word friction, and that has been a word that I've like adopted a lot more. Is that it sometimes takes just like half a second to realize, what the F am I doing? Go and do something else. Why am I doom scrolling this thing?
Right. But if you were never broken out of that, like if you just had that in your entire life.
Think about it. Like we had all these disparate devices. Now it's all like in a smartphone, and we're always looking at the smartphone. It's coming to our, now it's coming into meta glasses. It's on our head.
Yep.
You can't escape it. We're being controlled.
So true. So true.
So as we get to the future, of this, is like, what happens when the data stops just being recorded? Because up to this point, we were basically saying like data is there, and let's get to the heart of what I named this at is this pattern detectors.
Right.
Is that we've got a lot of data at this point. And what did it take to get AI to the point that it is? It needed freaking data.
Yeah.
Right? And we scraped every possible book and every internet kind of post and things that we've done up to this point, and it's probably already looking at our patterns. And so what I get fearful of is that it's going to start to now connect all of the data. Where are you at? What is your purchase history? Oh yeah, you got a Face ID because you logged into this thing. Oh, the biometrics, you woke up at this certain time. Now the AI is able to see all of that.
Yeah.
That's where we're headed. think about insurance. Think about like healthcare in these moments. They're going to be like, they're going to know when they should drop you because of certain patterns that you're going through. And they're like, well, this person's not going to be profitable for anything. Let them die.
Or charge them a whole bunch, right?
Or charge them a bunch.
Charge them a huge amount. I feel like part of this is that there are incentives for people to be doing this type of thing to make money. Right. And I feel like a lot of times we come back and we say, man, a lot of this has to do with capitalism. You know, like it's making money, it's control and making money. And if the making money side of it doesn't necessarily need to be there if you can do your own things. Like I talk a lot about like what I think the future of AI is going to be is you're going to have your own personal AI and it's going to have all that data on you. Now, like imagine those 5,000 data points that we talked about in like, you know, the Facebook thing. And imagine if that wasn't a company who was trying to get as much possible like monetary value out of you or wasn't trying to change what your vote was. Imagine if it was an internal AI that was like, hey, I want to build a better Adam and I want to like make him thrive in the world. And it used that data for those amazing like, you know, outcomes that it was trying to get to. I feel like that is a world that I'm like excited about, you know, like if it knew all those things about me and it was saying, hey, you know, you should be eating better. You should be working out more. Or there was nudges that it could be nudging you to be the best person that you could ever possibly be. Like that is amazing. Like some of that stuff, like I want those things, but what I don't want them is only compiled and controlled by certain companies.
Yes.
And those companies are controlled and done by very specific CEOs of those companies. Like I'm thinking of Elon Musk and X, like that guy has an outsized reach on all of his people. And because of how rich he is and because of his, you know, technology that he owns. And so it's almost political in that point that you would be like, I love it when my people are in charge and I hate it when the other people are in charge. And right now it feels like the other people are companies because they can control all of that. And what I would love is on our side is you would say like, it's not that, you know, data is not controlled by companies. It's controlled by me. And I'm the one who ekes out what I want other, you know, AIs and technology to see about me, but I mostly keep it for myself. And I feel like that could be a future that we are going towards, but it's hard to see.
We have to break the chains of the
right.
Like we need the great Moltbook revolution,
right.
and we have to like attach a freaking Apple Mini to our backs and like
100%.
Plug it into our head and have constant Wi-Fi connection that's like somehow not from these big corporations.
Well, and I was even thinking like, say you had your own AI, it could like scramble what was coming out of you, right? Like say I go on the internet and I search for a new boat, right? Mm-hmm. Like now I'm going to get a bunch of boat things. And now I'm in this list of here's Ryan and he's thinking about buying a boat. So maybe he's also thinking about buying a Mercedes or, you know, he's at this income level. Like my AI could be like, yeah, just flood the market with like a bunch of stuff. Yeah, Ryan's looking for a boat, but he's also looking to buy a giraffe and he's also looking to, you know, get a scooter and just fill it full of garbage so it doesn't know anything about me. Like that is an AI on your side. And I feel like we're coming up to a point where we need that.
And that's a big concept that they're talking about. How do you poison it? How do you start to fight against it? And I think I hate that it comes down to like a fight, you know. It's because we're almost fighting this idea that it's control, it's profits, it's like they want things to happen for certain folks and not others. The hard part is it's like it's not a clear and present danger. There's not one person that's there that you can say, or one corporation. Now it is a couple big ones. Like
right.
I would say there is that, but it's enough that they're each having their own little things that are happening. So how do you truly like fight against that with these smaller kind of areas? And so, and I was kind of joking about Moltbook, but like that's an example where it's a little bit in like internalized in certain ways, and that like you start to get to that model of that. And I think that to fight against it. And so Vodix, asked a great question. What's the solution? They don't want that either.
Yeah.
And I think it does become hard, and maybe we are starting to transcend into this dystopian future going forward, because you're right, Mike Azul, is that he mentions about, drones. They're going to test your wastewater. This is not even like a thing anymore. Like, drones are out there looking at you, tracking patterns. Just recently, we live in a fairly small town, or I live in a small, like 120,000 people.
Yeah.
They're like, the fire departments, the police departments now have these caged areas that have drones that launch out and can be to the scene of an accident in, like less than a couple minutes.
Dang,
and
cool.
Have you heard about this?
No.
Have you seen this? If you drive home, well, I don't think you'll pass it, is that they are making these things that they're first responder drones that will instantly go to pre-assess the scenes of certain
Right.
crimes,
Sure.
accidents, and things. Bigger cities are already having drones being able to look at this. We talked about some things in a prior episode, but you hear about flock cameras.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're big into that.
No, people protesting against them. They've had to rip them out of places, but they're getting bigger and bigger.
But just so if you don't know what a flock camera is, essentially they have a camera that's going to track certain things, like let's say your license plate.
Yeah.
And there's so many of them in certain areas. I think in California was an example where you have a camera that sees your license plate, and so maybe you're in a certain zone, it sees your license plate, and then it sees it in another location because they're kind of geographically located, and you have like 1,000 of these cameras. Now it's able to track exactly where you're at on your thing multiple times a day, multiple times a year. There's also satellites that then can see down. This isn't maybe not the flock side of the house, but can look at certain patterns, track where your car is, can rewind where you've been, start finding like things down to like a pinpoint location of where you're at.
What I would say, it feels a little bit like Minority Report, but we don't need weird alien things in milk baths to be able to do it. It's literally just, we have enough data and we could biohack you at this point. Like, they talked a little bit about like biohacking, and that you could hack a human. Like, if you have enough data about them and you have enough processing power, and then you have enough scale for subtly changing that person, man, you could absolutely do it. And I see that coming into the future. It feels like one of those things where if I just sort of wrap up my side of this, I feel like, again, it comes to one of those things where you have to be intentional about like how you're not only voting, but like thinking about who is controlling these types of data houses that we have, right? And so you have to be like, one, am I going to allow that to happen for the convenience of it? And maybe that isn't the case. Like, you think in the future and you say, no, I don't want enough of these people to have my data. Right now, it feels like that is everywhere. Like, you can't, sign into a EULA like without giving away your data. And I feel like that is a big bad part of this, is there's no regulations about any of this. So if you are voting and you are thinking about who is going into that, try to vote for the people who are trying to regulate some of that stuff, because in a lot of ways, like a top down thing for something like this, it feels like we really need that side of this, because from the bottom up is going to be hard until we have sort of those personalized AIs.
I think personalized AIs or other ways to poison the systems, or ways that we go to this. And so I have a quick few like parting things before I completely get to my final parts, is that there are some additional things coming, and I don't want to add on to the fear factors that we're creating here, but the future of where we're headed isn't as far off as we might think. And so just recently, think about the data we just talked about. Now, the predictive data that we're getting to, that's already scary. So there was an article, I don't think we talked about it. There was a gentleman that was in London, that was in a supermarket, and a facial tracking kind of software pinged him to where the employees had to go and say, hey, you got to leave the store. Like, you can't be in the store.
Like, you shoplifted or something,
because
before or something?
he popped up on this thing called Face Watch. Face Watch is the thing. You want to go look it up online. And FaceWatch basically pinged him as somebody that did criminal activity, and they didn't want him in the store. So they booted him out, and he's like, what the F? Like, I've never did that. And they were like, they couldn't tell him why. They're like, here, go scan this QR and go do it. So he scans the QR, then had to load his photo up.
Right.
And they're like, oh yeah, you're not on our database. But now you are,
Yeah, now you
sucker. But
Watch yourself.
So now he's like fearing because he got pinged on
Right.
those kind of things. But okay, think about all that. We just talked about that. There are now wearables that can now start to trace your brain waves. They can start to predict almost the way that you think. We're already starting to have this in certain ways, like how focused are you based off your watch?
Sure.
There's also like schools in China. I haven't heard about this, but like the biometric classroom tracking that's emerging, students aren't engaged. They're not connected to those things. So we're not just talking about our data and our patterns anymore, but almost down to the way we think. And that is what scares the shit out of me, because they're able to get into things that when you have those like crazy thoughts, you're like, oh, I could trip this person, right? And you're like, oh my God, why would I think that? Now think about being able for that thought to be tracked and then put against your predictive kind of model, and they're like, this person has bad thoughts all the time.
I saw a fun one that was saying that, they can see sort of your emotion, right? They read heartbeat, they can read how flushed your face is, how dilated your eyes are and stuff like that. And they can start seeing like, hey, who in this crowd is riled up right now? You're like, who could
For
be the
sure.
person who's going to do that? Which like, they can't tell that 100%. You could be riled up for a million different reasons, right? But easy enough to just sort of grab you out of the crowd and now say like, oh, he was a rabble rouser.
I think we're getting into to this point where I've even worked myself up with this kind of like topic of looking at this, because when I thought of surveillance, I was, what am I going to learn? And I learned a lot. And so I think going back to like, how do we stay unpredictable is a good kind of piece of it, because that seems to be the way that we survive some of this. And so we talked about a couple ways. We talked about having our own AIs, staying creative, being different, having those different and so we'll talk about privacy. Sounds like that's going to be one of our next kind of pieces out there. But I don't know how we necessarily keep this going, but like, how do we keep that mystery about ourselves, or how do we, keep that in unpredictability so that like those models don't see those things?
It just sucks. I don't want to have performative unpredictability.
'Cause
Like
it's
that
control
stinks.
again.
Because then it's just another thing in the back of my mind to be like, oh man, you should go, run outside and jump rope in the street or something to keep you off of, databases. I don't know. It's hard. Like, I don't want to have to think about my life as performative unpredictability. That seems...
So, agreed. The thing is, we don't want a lot of things in certain ways. And so is that going to shape humanity in a weird way going forward? In that, we're in our 40s at this point. And now we have these other younger people that are growing up in this new technological world. And maybe that's like the way that humanity continues to survive. And I would love to say that I had the answer to how to do this. And there's, maybe there's a couple. There's just a complete collapse of like power in general, like physical power on this planet that does not allow this data collection to happen at the scales that it's happening. That's like one way to do it. We go back to some sort of, pre-internet kind of place. And I don't know what takes that. Like, or, we talked about, these different uploaded intelligence, and we actually just get uploaded into machines,
right.
But we're still probably controlled in those ways.
Yeah. I feel like it goes back to a lot of what we're saying. It's like, the more that you have of this kind of technology, the more custom you can make your own life. And I feel like in some ways you have to make a system. You will have to build a system for your own self that prioritizes your privacy and reduces the amount of surveillance that you are done to. And the more that you could do that, the better. And right now we have a hard time doing that because we're so interconnected with all of these technologies that we sort of you'd never be able to rid those entirely of your life. So it would be hard to do that right now. But I feel like we are moving into a future where that could be a possibility. We talked about the death of these SaaS, software as a service companies. And that's because those companies know that you could at some point just make your own software that does all of that stuff. And then I don't have to give my data to anyone. So I feel like we are headed in that direction. I just hopefully that we can hold on long enough to get there.
I love that take, and I think that's right. It's that we've slowly come together in this way, and now we need this diversification to happen.
Right, exactly. You have to.
And I could see a future of maybe it's not even down to the person, but it's communities. Mm-hmm. It's people that band together to say, hey, we're gonna do this thing a little different, which I think then brings up a whole level of other conversation we're not going to get into, where you have these like basically tribes or these cults that are different, and we're the anti any technology, or hey, we're going to adopt these kind of things, it's going to help us, and we're going to have these differentiations that we'll have to talk about at that point. But I think that is a potential future that we're headed towards, and by the time we're there, hopefully I'm either long and gone.
You're long gone.
But
I doubt it, my friend.
But the thing that I think that would take is anti-tech called Amish.
The Amish.
But if you could take something from this, is that we did not talk about the dangers of tech with this. That's not what this was about tonight. It was really about just like understanding where we're at, understanding like how power really looks, the perceptions that we're seeing out there, and just being like understanding of it, not just passively not seeing those things that are that are looking at those predictive things. So when you're on your phone, being mindful of like, okay, that's BS. They're trying to control me at this point. Let me be a little bit more cognizant of that. And I think if you have that critical thinking and you're able to like pull yourself out and give yourself friction, going down to the I'm going to support you, Ryan. The 16-year-olds that maybe don't have that exposure at that point. And during that time, though, you're more mindful of building up somebody that like has a strong internal like self-worth and understanding of what it means to be human, will be powerful enough to maybe look at that. When you get that technology, you're going to question it a little deeper, or you're going to have those things. I don't think you can completely stop people from having that connection to it, but it's going to be mindful, and people have to be intentional.
I feel like we always end these with like, be intentional, right?
That's my favorite word, Ryan. You know that much. I don't know.
Great conversation, Adam. Thank you, chat, for chiming in. Amazing comments in there. We brought up some of them. Thank you all. That was a good conversation. I think we will pick this up after the 100th episode. So we have our 100th episode next time. That we had talked about that. We're gonna have a bunch of community stuff, which I feel like will be fun, and then we'll pick it up in episode 101, and we'll do like the flip side of the coin with privacy.
Heck yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. So really appreciate the connection tonight with everyone, and it's helpful to see everyone's perspective on these kind of things.
Yeah, totally, because it's different than us. Like everyone has a different perspective on it, and a different lived experience that gives them diverse perspectives on these, which
Absolutely.
is great.
So here we are. It was an hour, Ryan. We did take a little extra on the news as where we're at. So. The question is, who's with us? Like, anybody have any requests for the evening? Now we're into like the true chill hangout portion of the evening. We hit our news, we hit our questions.
Our homework is done, and now it's time to play.
Hell yeah! So, I mean, there's a couple things that we could do. We also love our we love our gaming. So, how many people in the chat would be up for that?
Yeah, we've been doing Drawful Animate, which is fun.
If we have enough people chat that we know we're out there, we will do Drawful Animate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine. Close it.
Oh,
up early.
We got some murder mystery.
We got
a murder mystery thing. Murder mystery. I mean, you could do murder mystery with 3 people.
Hey, I'm down for that.
All right, we're gonna make it to murder mystery.
Sounds good.
All right.
Why don't you jump over there? Gosh, we need our title card here. We need our like
That's what we need.
moving to the studio, like that kind of
do. I will make a moving to the studio. I need to take some time off and then like just do a dedicated time
like
to do that.
we need us like moving to the studio, like a little animation, like the old timey theater. Like, let's all go to the lobby.
Let's go out to the studio. Let's go out to the studio.
And play ourselves some Jackbox.
I did not unplug you tonight.
Ah,
that was
great.
a first
That
for
was
me.
great.
All right, we'll get some murder
awesome.
mystery for y'all.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell. I have a story brought up. Let me see. I usually have a story here for I call it stories for Ryan to tell during the transition. Okay, let's see. I made fake IDs in college for a little bit. Did I tell that story? Okay, what about hurricane evacuation the first week of college? Did I tell that one?
I can't remember if you told that one, right?
That was good. Went off to college, very first time away from home. You know, got sent off by my parents. They put me on a plane and said, "Have fun." You know, 2,000 miles away at this East Coast school. Got there before school even started. Massive hurricane evacuation of the entire eastern seaboard, and was basically put on a bus for like 12 hours and driven, you know, not very many miles up into the coast because we were trying to get away from the hurricane. Ended up in, you know, this little tiny town of Macon, Georgia. Was hanging out, knew very few people. We were walking around trying to find food. We went to a Walmart and got sleeping bags because we were sleeping in a convention center that had been set up for, you know, people fleeing the storm. We were walking over to what we thought was an open McDonald's that wasn't open, and a church came to us and said, "Hey, come down into our basement. We have food and we have stuff." And we were kind of like, I don't know. I'm 18. I don't really know what I'm doing.
Come to this church basement.
Exactly.
Ryan.
And we were like, I guess. And they were like preaching and doing things and like really like doing it up. It felt, I don't know. To me, it felt very performative for us even. And they were trying to give us food and things. And we were very paranoid and we left. And it was a crazy story. I spent another 14 hours on the bus trying to get back that 30 miles when everything was okay. And we showed up at the dorms and, you know, nothing had even moved. There was barely even branches on the ground or leaves on the ground. We had done it all for nothing. The storm had missed us, but I had a great story to tell at my first week in college.
You know, I remember that too. I remember being like fearful for you, Ryan, as that thing had happened. And so I'm glad you made it out. All right, here we go. We're relaunching. We're getting into some murder mystery tonight. So if you know how this works, Ryan, I'm actually surprised. First time in the bathroom for the night? Do you have a colostomy bag or some sort of a little thing there? All right, let's get this thing started. So if you're just joining in on this, you want to get into murder mystery. All you need to do is be able to go to jackbox.tv and then punch in your code, and we'll be able to start playing. Here we go, folks. Let's get those. Ivan. That's a great one. Oh, shit. Who's going to be first? Of course, Stealth Mouse. Literally, I had the thing up on my phone, and I put a stupid colon in there, and I wasn't even first. So the Higginator is gonna come over here in just a minute. So we'll vibe before he pops in. I will be playing a song tonight. I've got to figure out which one we're gonna play. Let me see if I can open the browser for just a second before we get into this. Then I'm really excited about being able to get to our 100th episode, which is quite the accomplishment. I was looking through the past of all the things that we've been able to accomplish, and why is there a little people? There's like people that are in over the screen right there. I have no idea why that is. That's hilarious. I'm gonna have to figure that out later. There is literally some people on the screen. Hold on a second. I want to see this. Oh, it must be because it's part of this Jackbox TV. We only have 3 people tonight, Ryan. It looks like it's going to be a 3-people night.
Room code Ivan.
It is. Let's get your mic on. Not that people have to,
Not that people care about what you're saying, Ryan.
or me for that. Oh, we got Becky in. Heck yes.
Becky's in.
All right. I was loading my Sunos and like let me get all the bad parts of this like lag that's gonna happen when I open this. Hopefully, not gonna be too bad.
So, if anyone, I mean, I know we had some new people chatting tonight. So, if you're still on, this is a thing that we do at the end of the Hangout. You know, after sort of the formal show, we usually play a little Jackbox. And so, if you go to jackbox.tv and put in the room code Ivan, you can play along with us.
Yeah, just want to let you know I already told everyone that.
God damn it! That's what I get for going to the bathroom.
That's right. You only had to go once tonight, though. It was, it was impressive, to say the least. Who's ready for this?
I've been practicing my Kegels.
Oh God.
I haven't been. I probably should.
wait, guys can do Kegels?
Yeah.
What are Kegels? I thought that was the stuff you put it. Never mind.
A Kegel is like the part of you that like holds your bladder in, you know, so it's like sort of down here, so you can like flex it. And oftentimes girls will do it when they're like pregnant or things like that. You can do Kegel exercises.
I only knew it from a very different way. So Ryan,
of course, you sicko.
Don't judge me,
Don't
sir.
judge me. Don't kink shame here.
Hell yeah! All right, let's kick it off, Heather. We got this. We got
All right,
4 in
3.
on this.
Oh no, yeah, we got 4.
We got a 4.
All
That's
right.
good.
This is
we
great.
got Becky in here.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, man.
Disturbed left too many ads on the stream apparently.
That's what you got to subscribe for.
You know?
Yeah.
It's true.
Should have given him a sub.
We should have. I don't think I can give it to a specific person. It just like randomly gives it to
I think
anyone.
it chucks it in the chat, maybe.
It just like randomly gives it to a person.
We'll send him
Last time I
a
tried.
physical card.
Like a gift card.
I think we could have Disturbed and Stealth Mouse physically here.
That's
Stealth
true.
Mouse said she wanted to be here.
Right. For the community night, for
Yeah.
the 109. I think we should.
We should have a party.
Totally.
That's what it should be.
Yeah.
A rolling sea of dark despair. But in a down
Oh, wait, I need to turn the volume.
girls kind of way, you know? I'm going to ask you a bunch of trivia questions. If you get a question wrong, you have to fight for your life in one of my super fun mini games. If you do badly in the mini game, I'll kill you. But don't worry, Ghost can still win the game. When one player is left alive, we'll go to the final round where the living and dead compete to see who can escape first. And you can always be in the audience. It's just as deadly. Listen to me blabber on.
Has
Let's
the
just get
audience
into the
ever
game.
won?
You'll
Can the
figure it
audience
out as we
win?
go.
Yeah.
They can win.
Yep.
They have their own little doll.
Okay,
Oh, maybe not.
First question.
You're right.
So, I got to walk the red carpet recently.
Shit.
No, not the Oscars, just a carpet I haven't cleaned in a long time. But tell me, what brand of shoes are known for their fabulous red soles?
Oh.
Use your device
Shoe
to answer the
brands.
question.
I have no idea on this. If you're a shoe person, I'm gonna be dead in the first round.
Sneakerhead. All of us.
And the correct answer is, who
Ah.
got it right?
Ooh,
Stuffed it.
you know
I have a
who
surprise
put
for you.
Gucci? 'Cause I did.
Gucci.
Welcome to the killing floor. We're going to play
Oh,
the finger
fingers, finger
No one has to
cutting.
die in this one, unless you refuse to participate. Just choose one of your fingers to cut off.
Oh, God.
Easy, right? All you have to do is endure blinding pain. Chop, chop.
I heard you're supposed to, if you have to get a finger severed, you should do your pointer finger.
Oh yeah.
Because your other hand,
Come on,
your
you don't
middle
need
finger
all
can
those fingers.
compensate.
Really?
Where you would think it would be
It
your
puts
pinky
the
finger that you
finger in
wouldn't
the
care about, but
basket.
it's actually like balances and holds things.
Well, I pinkied it.
And now, the scoreboard. Wait, that's supposed to be a scareboard. Dang it. I messed up the joke. Just forget it. It's a scoreboard, okay? It's a scoreboard.
It's like some Bob's Burgers dialogue.
Alright, next question. So I've noticed you still haven't accepted my friend request on Facebook. I sent you a follow-up message, and I know you saw it because it says so at the bottom. But I guess you're busy or whatever. That's cool. What was the original name for Facebook's like button?
Oh my god. I'm so bad. Oh, I can't even pick one of them. Shit. I don't know.
Time's running out.
I think I remember this. From something.
Who said
I think
this?
it was the awesome button. I do remember
Last
that.
Rest
minute.
of you, let's play a game.
I think that was in the
Welcome back
movie?
to the killing
social
floor.
social capital or movie
Social
or whatever,
Network.
the social network.
We're going to play chalices. I've given each safe player a poison pellet.
Ooh.
Pick a chalice to drop your poison in.
Oh.
You have
Okie dokie, it's
You
your
have
turn
chosen
to play.
poorly.
Pick a chalice to drink from.
Oh man.
These chalices are
I should have
all
looked over
pretty
and see which
sweet.
one you picked, so we didn't pick the same one.
Yeah, we could have cheated this one.
Could have cheated. Doubled our odds.
Mmm, tasty. Now let's see what everyone drank.
Oh,
Ooh.
good
No one drank any
one.
poison.
You too.
Well, that was a waste of my time.
We did 1 and 4 though. We didn't,
Yeah.
you know,
Here's
we
your
didn't pick
scores,
the
my
same
little
one.
dumplings.
It was good.
Next question. Which of the following is not one of the mutated food enemies in the video game Burger Time?
Now I'm questioning it. Now I'm questioning my thing.
I don't even know
played
this.
Burger Time.
Oh,
you
you
never
have?
played Burger
No.
Time? It's where they're like
Who
sliding the.
Yes.
Oh no.
Dang,
We
no
all got it
one.
wrong.
We all got it wrong.
I have a surprise for you.
Ah,
Ew.
Wow, look at this big enticing pile of cash just sitting here. Here's how this is going to work. If no one takes the money, no one dies. But if you do take the money, I'll kill
oh,
everyone
it's the
who
prisoner's
didn't.
dilemma.
There's one catch. If you all take the money, then you all die. The key part to any relationship is communication. Do that now.
No, oh crap! I didn't communicate at all. I just picked. Man, I know that we're not communicating.
Time for the consequences. Sometimes betrayal is totally worth it. Aww, I'm gonna enjoy this.
Nice.
You didn't take the money. We all took the money.
We all took the money.
See,
So
I
Stealth
wasn't
was the
joking
only
when I
one.
said I'd kill you. I
Sorry.
just totally killed you, but don't go into the light just
Sorry,
yet.
honey.
Ghosts can still win. Never underestimate a ghost, son.
You screwed me on this one before, so like I almost always take the money.
Okay, all right.
She can still win though, and I don't have a finger.
I know.
Let's try another one.
Okay.
How pure is sterling silver?
Oh my god, I'm doing none of
God,
this.
you know, this is gonna be definitely a guess on my part. I have an inkling of which one it was. I had it before it actually came up on the screen, so I'm gonna go with that.
And the correct answer is
Yes. All right. Good job,
Lame.
everyone. Good job, team.
Made a
Let's try
guess.
this again.
Lucky guess.
not to brag, but people say I'm the Brian Wilson of eating in bed. Which of the following is not one of the locations mentioned in the lyrics of the Beach Boys song Kokomo?
You questioning your choice
Oh,
now?
absolutely, 100%.
I'm trying to like sing the song in my head.
Like one has a verbal.
Who picked this one?
Damn it!
Yeah, yo.
The rest of you,
Montigua
you're in
or
for a
something.
treat.
I
It's
thought
like it's like Montigua or something.
I almost picked that. I
I
should have
want to
went
play
with
a
it.
dice game.
Oh, great.
I'll go first. 15. Now I need a little
Whoa.
help from a safe player. How about you? In order to live, should they roll higher or lower?
Oh
the choice
man.
is yours.
If you have to roll higher than that, you're all gonna die. So I'm gonna say higher.
Ha! Good luck with that. Roll higher than me or you die.
Oh, you were trying to kill us. I see, you bastard.
I am.
Wait, do you? Oh. You have to
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, close, but still no.
Double kill. Double kill. Bastard.
You know, it's like I can't leave any survivors.
Oh, good.
And
we're
you're
just down to
winning.
one.
What a punk.
Glad to see you've made it here alive.
Thanks.
But can you escape with your body?
Oh my
I'm gonna
god.
give you
Go
a
ahead, I am.
category. Carnivorous dinosaurs. Tap on each answer that fits, then press. Let's see the right answers.
None of
You
them.
move forward one space for every correct
Haha, I
answer.
knew that actually.
You're getting real close to the exit. Oh, did I mention that all the other ghosts get to play too? If a ghost catches up to you, then they will steal your body. Then they can escape and win
I
the
want
game.
your body.
Here's everyone's next question. Ghosts
What?
get a third choice to help them catch up to you.
Oh man, this is tough.
Yeah.
This
I'm
is
sure.
not-
I don't have enough Godzilla knowledge. Where's Sam?
I know, I was gonna say. Oof. Stealth mouse.
Stealth.
Yeah, get there, stealthy.
Ghosts
Not
are getting
even.
close now.
She knew.
The price is right, games. Anytime today, kiddo.
I used to watch these a lot.
Yeah,
I feel like
watch
I
The
should.
Price is
I
Right
feel like I
quite a
should know
bit.
these.
High Low is one of them.
Oh yeah, boy.
I did know what 2 for M.
Oh no, Becky has
Oh,
been
Becky's
taken into the dark.
Shellfish.
Man.
All of them.
Tied
Uh-oh.
up. All right.
Oh my goodness,
Took
she's
it
made
away.
it.
Crazy game, am I right?
She loves seafood.
Hurry up. Ernest Films.
Man, I regret my choices.
Yes.
Oh no.
Back in it.
So many kills.
I know my Ernest
Here's
movies.
another one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Rodents.
Every one of them.
Shoot.
And it's back and forth.
Someone won. The darkness approaches.
You're like one stun away. There.
Bones.
Heather should know this.
Yes.
How do you? Heather's a nurse.
Another mind swap. Here comes the next
Gotta know
one.
your
Back
bones,
and
baby.
forth.
Chuck Norris Films.
Oh man.
Oh man, was he in that one?
None of them.
Boo.
Oh, what?
Someone won.
Because if you catch up, you
If
get the
catch
body.
up, you get it.
Ivy League schools.
None.
Look how terrible. Oh, Adam's in.
Oh.
Got the Ivy League schools.
Oh.
Battles.
Oh, I just screwed up. Clicked the wrong one. Stealthy. This is good.
This is like intense at the end
Darkness
here.
approaches. Democrats.
Democrat.
Oh man, I'm not good at this.
None.
None of them. Wait. Oh,
Yes.
you got it.
All right, I'm in. One more. One more.
Oh my god.
Neighbors.
Ah, dang it.
What?
Wait.
Oh my god!
What?
Stealth Mouse hates it.
Stealth Mouse won. Wow, great job.
That was like, I don't think it has ever
We
been that
have never
intense.
with that. That was a horse race. Wow.
Good job.
Funeral canceled.
How did you get there?
Man, It was
a tie.
It was like a race right up to the end.
Good job.
That was
She was the
great.
one who requested it too.
Exactly,
That was the
you
most
know?
intense.
That was super
we've
intense.
had
It's
up
like
to this
that. That
point.
is how mystery party needs to get done.
Hell yeah.
That was great.
Oh man, Ryan, great show tonight.
Yeah.
I had a really fun time.
Totally. Love. Oh, we should have kept that music in the background.
Oh yeah, shut up. It was a good time
Just
tonight.
you know, fun topic, good times with everyone in the chat. Welcome, or look forward to our 100th episode next time.
I know it's gonna be a fun episode. So we're gonna have to plan it. We have a little
Yeah.
bit of time to talk about it.
Totally.
You want to
Well,
touch base
because
on
we
it?
won't have a topic. I don't feel like we should have a top. So instead of doing the research and doing the stuff that we would normally do, I feel like we should pull any clips that we think could be fun that we can think of from the last 100 episodes that we've done.
I think we should do the polling before instead of during the
No,
session.
definitely
for sure.
not during the session, beforehand. So if you think of anything or you know any spots that would be fun, I feel like we should do that.
Should we play an anime game? Will we talk about this?
You want to play an anime game while we
We had a chat request for an anime.
Okay.
If you want to do that, but I think we can talk about the stream as we play.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Wait, was it Jackbox 8? Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that if we were to take some clips, obviously our first one would be a big one.
Exactly.
It's going to be hard because there's so much. We have 300 hours of content. Or
More
300.
than
Well, if you take the 24 hours, that puts us
Sure.
over that's almost 400 then.
Yep.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, we have some fun things that I feel like are already sort of, pulled out and done stuff. Like, I don't know.
It's crazy to think. It doesn't feel like we've done a lot, but when you watch the history, clearly.
Well, I feel like, again, we've been very intentional about it. Like we have done it. We have stayed with it. Like,
It's one of the longer things we've done in this.
okay, gotta get
All
my.
right, we did this for you, Stealth Mouse. You best be getting in. Oh, there she is.
Okay.
There's no eraser. I like that they tell me that. I'm sorry. I think. Oh, we got Becky in here too. When you have 4 people, it's like usually harder animations. Oh, Ryan and I went for like similar things, like open eyes, flipping off. Nice one, Stealth.
That's a good one.
Love the mouse. You need that tattoo. I feel like you need that tattoo.
Even if it's just small,
Yeah, a little stealth mouse.
Yeah. Stealthily somewhere on you. Be good.
I have a few locations. We'll talk
Press-
about that later.
that's for the after show. You know what I'm saying? We good?
We got Becky still going.
I was still drawing everything.
Very epic here.
It'll probably let her finish, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, well, I hope.
Are you sure you want to start before everyone's avatars are in?
Yeah, no,
Fine,
we don't.
Becky.
All right, so
let's...
we got clips from the show.
Yeah.
Maybe like a couple highlight moments of
Okay.
things that we've done over time.
Yep.
So like even talking about the 24-hour stream.
Mhm.
I think we need a game, and maybe there's a virtual game we're gonna have to do.
Sure.
what else kind of things would we do for 100 episodes? It's going to be very party-ish.
Yeah, that's what
like
I think it should
super
be.
casual.
Like us having, like, if we wanted to have people over, right? I think that would be cool. If we wanted to have a couple drinks, right? If we wanted to just have a conversation about something, I think that could be cool.
We want to keep it on like it is the 100th episode. Have a show about it.
Yeah.
All right.
I just don't think it's going to have like a research
like Dinosaur
article and things
DMV
like that.
or
that we
a
do.
soft seltzer. Make
No.
an animation on your device that would fit that title. When you're done, hit submit. You'll get points for each player that guesses the correct title. You're smart.
What?
You got
I
it.
don't even understand my prompt.
It's like, yeah, it's tough.
It's never too late to join the audience. Go to jackbox.tv and enter the room code.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is toughy.
Halfway through, I cordially invite you to begin work on the second frame.
Oh, crikey. All right, screw it. I'm done. Good thing they give you a couple minutes for this one. Do, 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 do.
Yep. 30 seconds left. If
Stealth
you haven't
mouse is
started the second
in.
frame yet, uh-oh.
We got the artist here.
Oh man, it's really brutal.
He's overdone. He's overcomplicated.
The animations are in. Some of them are very bad. Let's take a look.
Good call out.
What's a title that you could trick your friends into thinking it's correct? Write it on your device.
Oh shoot. I think I said.
Oh, we figured it out.
These all fit perfectly, but which one do you think actually inspired this animation?
Oh man. Oh man. This is tough.
It is tough.
Come on, pick something.
Man.
Let's see what happened.
Yeah,
Son of a bee.
boys.
God dang it.
Like my little thing. Oh shit.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Adam. Give it right back to me.
Oh.
And stuff. Here we go. Here we go.
I was like 2 eggplants. Is it eggplant? Oh, it was
It was
eggplant.
eggplant.
Good job, Becky.
That's
I mean, it was
Ruffle, baby.
clearly an eggplant.
Sure. That's true.
Damn it.
To see, I feel like sea voyage helped it.
Well, your son is the one that was able to identify as a
Who are
eggplant.
your friends? Type of title.
Can I slow this down? Oh, yeah. There we go.
I know your fingers are tired, but I promise this is worth it. Type something.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. It must be lagging or something. Okay, we got it.
Well, this is what the
Ooh,
group came up with.
there's 2 good ones in there.
Oh, I wanna redo mine. No, I do not want to double down.
Time's almost up. Make your finger touch your device in a voting motion. Let's check out the results.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Good job, Stealthy.
It was good. That guy, as soon as I got it, it's like she broke the whole raincoat. That's got to be it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she knew because double down, huh?
Oh, see some insider knowledge trading going on between husband and wife here.
Hey, there was no texting because she wrote the other one. So she knew that it wasn't that one.
Let's,
your
know,
title.
asterisk on whoever wins this.
There were some patterns and AI controls of predictive measures in that, right?
God, this one was hard.
Sorry, I can't get over
Come
my
on,
little
type something.
finger.
It's like a tiny little finger, too.
It's a little child finger.
Okay, check these out.
Man, I regret my choices.
Already?
The instant I hit it, I'm like,
Don't have a lot of
no.
time, just vote. Okay, who got tricked?
Yeah,
Somebody
boys.
did. Oh, everybody. All right.
I'll take it. No. Oh my goodness! Good job, Becky. I right when I clicked it, it's too. Yes, that's.
Well,
it.
how am I supposed to draw that?
That was
I
not
agree. It's
Soup
hard.
too wet? Try dry soup?
I should have known by your comment.
Yeah, when I first got it, I was like, what? He's like wet soup. Ugh.
No,
Dry soup.
That's why I said I
yum.
regretted it the second because I knew that's what it
Something
was.
that makes sense. You don't have time to be perfect. Just do your best or your worst. I really don't care.
Oh.
Here's what we're working with.
These are fun.
see what people picked.
You'll.
Good job.
Shit.
Yes. Would I double down on that
Oh,
one?
you could have a double down.
I
Dang
really
it.
Double down. Still, like in third.
Last round. Check your device for your new
Oh my
turtle.
god.
I'm sorry,
New
title.
one.
Okay.
This is. Oh, I'm not gonna even make a comment. I submit.
Just a friendly reminder to move on to your second frame if you haven't already.
Becky, you have a nice little drawing. Your little animated,
Yeah.
little antennae, little wings there. It's cute. I hope you've been well. Haven't talked to you in a while. It's been a minute. But I always appreciate seeing you in the show. Hopefully things are going well for you. Of course, Mr. Higley here.
You're running out of time.
Should
Start
what?
thinking of excuses.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
The
Dude,
drawing is
turn in my
done.
drawing.
Let's check out
Yeah,
the
we're all
first
like,
animation.
do.
I liked mine.
It was a good one today. Oh, you got first
Got a
in.
good title
First
for this
in,
one?
too.
Put it in writing.
How did I know you were first in?
You
Because
know.
I looked at your phone. I don't know what your prompt was.
Sure.
God, what is that?
Write something down. And here are the options.
Ooh.
Oh, you don't get to vote for any of mine. You know, in the other games, you could be like, yeah, that was a good one, and sort of upvote them. You don't get to do that here.
I didn't use my double drop down on last
Pick
or
a choice. You're
double
making me
draw.
nervous.
You think you got this one?
No.
Okay, I'm actually curious how this one turned out.
Yep. I like this because I'm always number one.
Dang it.
Oh, shoot.
Good job, everyone.
Oh, was that it?
That was it. Swinging a bag of starfish. He's picking up the starfish
Oh,
off the rocks.
I should have doubled
Should've
down.
doubled down.
I know.
Still winning.
Yeah, only by 500 though.
Think of a good title and write it down. Here are your choices.
Oh man, I almost regret.
Now you double it down.
Okay, here's what happened.
Ah, shit.
Oh, got
I doubled
you.
down.
Got you.
You got 1,000 for that.
Wow.
Is it foot acupuncture?
Man.
Oh, how?
I thought foot acupuncture was pretty good, but whatever.
All right, I just gave her like the lead
Ooh,
by double downing.
Dang, like $2,000.
It was
Ooh, this one is perfect.
2 stealth mouses in a row. This is rigged. Your Valentine's gift.
Done. Out.
Give it your best guess.
Ooh.
Behold your collective effort.
This one's tough.
Yeah.
Good job, folks.
Wow, who are we waiting on? You should peer pressure that person.
It was me.
Alrighty, let's
was
see
you.
what you did.
Sorry. I thought I hit it.
Good job. I went with the most straightforward one. I thought I was. So.
Shoot. That? Yeah.
Oh,
Because
nice.
the like the porch like was black too.
Right.
At least that's what I thought. Oh my god, she's like
Now
taking the
it's
lead with that.
Taking it over.
Did this last time too.
All right, last drawing of the game.
I don't think there's a mathematical way that you could lose now.
Yeah. You should double down whenever you pick at him.
I can't double down.
Oh, you're
This is my drawing.
You lose. Oh, that's your drawing.
Ooh, there are some pretty good options here. Well,
There
there's
are
one.
some good ones. I wish I could vote for good
Yeah,
ones.
I know. Isn't it? I feel like they should put that back in. It's like I may as well double down.
Might
Why
as well.
not? Why not?
Behold the results.
I honestly, that could have been what it was. Good job. Oh no! Oh yeah!
got me,
Becky's
me,
got it. She needed
got
that
me.
though.
She needed that.
Needed the uplift. Good job on picking it. I had no idea what to draw there. Ooh, Becky almost took you over there.
Right? I know, right? At the end.
Another 10,000. 2 in a row.
Man.
Stealth Mouse, loving it. And
And
top
most
of...
liked.
My goodness.
Great job.
There's your flowers for Valentine's Day.
I'll be like, take a
Take 'em.
screenshot of that.
Screenshot it.
Screenshot.
Oh my goodness. All right, that was hella fun. All right, here's the question, Ryan. Yeah, she is been killing it. Do you want to hear another? Because we've done a song every single time. Like, do you want to do?
That's up to you. If you're willing to share.
I am willing to share one. So let's see here. You have sore losers. You're dumb. All right, I'm gonna do one that is a little bit. All right, I'm gonna do one that I really like. This one's called.
Not the driving in the.
You want me to do the driving one?
I get you were talking about it. So
all right, how many minutes? This is a 4-minute song. We have 4 minutes. All right, this one is the vibe. It's called Windows Down.
Okay.
And so imagine yourself in a car, vibing in Denver. Yeah, you get it.
Lay sun sitting on the dashboard blow. Radio low, but it still talk though. Say we all good like I have it now. Like if we say it enough, it holds somehow. Traffic slow, but the mind still race. Time feel weird when you don't feel space. You look out trying to catch that feel from way back when it was more real. Laugh come quick, then it drift away. Same soft smile at the end of the day. We don't press it, we just let it slide. Let the road talk while we ride a while. Same streets, but they sound new. Every stoplight feel halfway true. I don't ask what you're trying to fix. I just sit with it, let it move. Say we cool, even when it feels sideways. Hands on the wheel, let the moment play. No big talk, we don't gotta prove. Just stay right here, let the time move. Say we cool like it's not that deep. Like if we say it, we get some sleep. Sun slide low, let the doubts fade out. We don't gotta know everything right now. We good when the window's down. Yeah, we good when the window's down. Ride slow, let the world go round. Say we good, yeah, we good right now. Yeah, we good when the window's down. Yeah, we good when the window's down. Ride slow, let the world go round. Say we good, yeah, we good right now. Yeah, mile high air, got my head feel light. Breath come quick when the drop hit right. Sky feel close like it lean on us. City wide, but it hush, hush. Colfax lights through that orange glow. Same long stretch where the nights move slow. You say nothing, but I know that look. Like you're reading signs we don't overlook. Math come easy, then it fade again. Saying we fine like a nervous friend. We don't argue, we just change the song. Let it play while the road go long. Snow still sit on the mountain line. Even when it feel like summertime. I don't dance what you tryna outrun. I just match pace, let the night come. So we cool even if it feel bang. And still steady on the descent. No big plans, we don't gotta save. Just keep driving, let it play. So we cool like we been through work. Just like this city know how to curve. Lights look calm from a distance now. We don't let it rush, not right now. We good when the window's down. Yeah, we good when the window's down. Ride slow, let the world go round. Say we good, yeah, we good right now. We good when the window's down. Yeah, we good when the window's down. Ride slow, let the world go round. Say we good, yeah, we good right now. Yeah, I hit them a different time. Street feel wide, but the head feel tight. Headlights cut through a little snow dust. Radio fade, but the dark stay up. Downtown blow from the other side. Same few edges we always ride. You tap your glass when the beat come back. Like, yeah, that one, yeah, run that back. We joke about stuff we don't unpack. Laugh first, then we circle back. If it heavy, we don't say it yet. At the home of the tired, just handle that. Hold it bite, but it kept my chest. Say, heavy, this is as good as it gets. I ain't tryna side what tomorrow brings. Keep it move and keep it dancing. So we cool even if we unsure. Even if we don't know what's next for sure. Every mile, take a little way, but we still here, so we spray. Say we cool, don't overthink. Let the altitude change how we think. If it wobble, we still roll. Windows down, that's the call. We good when the windows down. Yeah, we good when the windows down. Ride slow, let the world go round. Say we good, yeah, we good right now. We good when the windows down. Yeah, we good when the windows down. Ride slow, let the world go round. Say we good, yeah, we good right now.
Hell yeah. Windows down, yo.
That was really good. That was really good. I really like that one, Adam. That was really great. I think that might be one of my favorite ones.
There's a couple other bangers out there, so.
It's amazing.
All right. We'll see y'all. Have a good night. 100th
Have a good
episode
night.
next time.
Woo.
Peace.